made by reliable witnesses. The N word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman and the rest of those 11 to 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they could never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally.
All right, we're back.
Tawanda, we have Gina Best with us.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me. Is my mic on?
You're fine.
Okay, family. Thank you. Tawanda called yesterday. Yeah, I'm glad to join you all this evening.
And I'm so glad you're on, my queen. And we're just trying to check to see if it's on my Facebook page, because I know it's on the Justice for Tyrone West, but I want you to be able to share it on your page as well. Is it on the Justice? I mean, is it on my normal page as well, guys?
It wasn't a few minutes ago when I checked. I'll check again.
Yeah, could you check real quick? Because I definitely want to uplift my beautiful queen. I thank you, queen, for taking the time. And I know this is a hard time for you, and I hit you up so last minute, and I just love how quickly you respond to everything. And I know how serious this is. And again, I'm just so sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate it, but I got a lot to say. This is insane. And
Yes.
I actually went to work today. I'll share this. And then I got there and it's like, I can't do this. I needed to go home. So I'm actually just waking up. That's why I was late. I forgot
Oh, wow.
because I really needed to rest and try to recover, or at least get myself at a better place. But yes, so West Wednesday, here we go.
Gina,
I've
forgive me.
been off of social media for quite a while, but it's like, no, this can't continue.
Gina, forgive me for interrupting 1 sec. This is Uncle Bill. Tawanda, yes, it's on your page now.
Awesome. So, Gina, my
Yes.
queen, if you would like to share this as well onto your page, because we're actually on live. And then if you don't have the time right now to do it, feel free to share later. But it's also being uplifted to YouTube and the different social medias. And thank you, Rachel, for sharing. So, guys, I'm just gonna bring you in a loop. This is my beautiful star sister, even though she named me that.
I say
But she
star.
Yes, but this is my beautiful sister, and it's just sad. This is the club we never signed up for. And tonight, as you know, we're dedicating this to our beautiful sister, that another sister that we just lost. And the way sisters are murdered in a murder cut, it is ridiculous. It is horrible. We're not safe doing anything. But our beautiful queen Gina has a lot to say, because she's been fighting for accountability for her beautiful daughter India. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, my queen. And then after you finish, we're going to bring up the video. We're going to screen share, bring up the video. Hope it's not too traumatized. I know you saw it already, but you want to bring it up in key points to let everybody see and bring them into the conversation. So mic check. It's all yours, queen.
Mic check. You want me to go ahead and speak? Or
Yes. Go right ahead and speak.
about okay, so we're now, all right, first of all, I want to say thank you to the family, Bill and Hillary, and of course to you, Tawanda, my beautiful sister. I do apologize that, you may hear some noise in the background. I do need to turn that off so that, can you hear me okay? I do apologize.
We hear you crystal clear.
Okay, so we saw the video of beautiful Queen Sandra Massey being executed in her home. What I was not aware of, and I have to tell you this, family, that I had not even wasn't aware of it, because when you are the victim of having your loved ones stolen, their lives executed at the hands of rogue police, and then there's also what they do. They all line up in rank, they close ranks, blue cloud of silence, no one talks. What I found out after watching the video, I have to just tell you this, I did not initially want to watch the video. Who wants to see another beloved sister murdered? But it was sent, and I braced myself, and then I watched. And as I was sitting there, actually in my car, it immediately, and we can attest to this, it teleports you right back to when you get that first call. But what really grasped my heart and mind at that time was the fact that they had the video, they covered it up. When they went there, the way that the story, what the account, because it's not a story, this is a real life account. Sister Cassie called the police because she was concerned that there may have been a prowler outside. You saw a video of their body cams where you clearly see a vehicle where the window is crashed in. And of course, that's cause for concern. So there were 2 deputies that showed up. They go to the sister's house after knocking for an extended period of time, they claim. She does come and open the door, and she's got her head wrap on, her scarf, her robe, she's got her phone, but you can see someone who's in distress. You can see someone who seems to be a little discombobulated or confused, oriented, because it was 1 after 1 in the morning. Okay. She invites them in, and again, very cordial. These uniformed mercenaries, the main one, and please help me with this monster's name. Actually, we want to focus on Sonia's name. He's out there. Just focus on Sonia, Sister Sonia Massey. He's interacting with her. She's on the couch. She has her wallet, trying to get herself to give them the information. And you could see the microaggressions. It started with that right immediately. You could see how he was speaking so condescendingly to this woman. And she's calling for help. Let me get it together. She's just trying her best. And he looks over to the stove and he says, well, could you go turn off the pot of water? We don't want a fire in here. Now, mind you, that stood out to me too, because this is her house. How dare he come in there and tell her what to do? And yes, she obviously was aware that there was a pot of water on the stove because she must have put it on there. But she gets up off the couch, walks around the little barrel in the kitchen thing. She turns off the water. She empties the water in a sink. And she, he starts to talk about not wanting to have boiling hot water. So he started to weaponize the water, her action. And actually, he started this. He was doing this intentionally. You could just see it. You got to look between what's said and what was not said. She pours out the water and she's like, well, I rebuke you in Jesus' name. I rebuke you. But she said it in a joking manner, just in a banter manner, just the same way he was delivering it. They can be nicey. We know how that is. They're real nice. All right. And no sooner than she said that, he had already pulled out his gun and had it trained at her. Now let's pause for a moment and just address that. Where was the weapon that this woman had? What was Sonia handling? What was she do? She had no weapon. And on top of that. So he created and fabricated this situation here to immediately put her on the defense, or to create this situation where he can justify pulling the weapon. He pulls out the weapon, trains it at her. She says, I rebuke you. She ducks. You can see her duck. She came back up. He shot her in her face.
But sister, this is what I want to say before that, and then we're gonna go into the video. I'm gonna have our Queen Rachel screen share the part that really stood out to me, because when she was talking to him, she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." He said, "You better put that pot down before I shoot you in your." Yeah, he said, "You better not. I'll shoot you in your fucking face." Yes, that's what he said. Like, yeah, it's like what? Like, and then that's what he ultimately did. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. And as much as I wanted to send that video to you, sister, I was so scared to traumatize you because I was tattered and torn. Like I couldn't stop shaking. I was crying. Like I went off. That was and then the crazy part, this literally happens on July the 6th. And now we're just seeing the video like this week. Like, are you freaking kidding me?
They sat on it. They called and told the family. Now, I can't see you, sis. Where are you? I'm trying to.
Oh, I had my camera off only because they play with my phone a lot, and every time I get on any device, whether it's my iPad, they will freeze me, and I didn't want to be frozen. So I say, you know what? This ain't about me. This about you. This about Sonia. This about all the victims of police brutality. So yeah, sorry you can't see me.
Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't know if I was on the right set.
Yeah,
But to
no,
get back
you're
to that,
yeah,
he did say that to her. You better not. Now, mind you, she had done nothing. She didn't move him in
nothing.
a threatening way. She was just literally in her home, mind you.
Mhm.
When he shot her, this monster went around and still had his gun trained at her. Clearly, I mean, and you could. Mm.
It's a lot.
He told his partner. His partner said, "Well, I got to go get the CPR kit."
Yeah, that's the
That
part I was
monster told his partner, "Don't waste it on her. It's a headshot."
shot.
Basically,
Yes.
boasting it's pointless because he killed her. It's like it's a trophy shot, a trophy kill for him.
Yes.
What is beyond? And I hear, and I'm just, I've taken all day to try to just get this because I really just, what really captures all of it is beyond surreal. But you know that when you're dead, when you're shot, you don't lose your hearing right away. There are some things that shut down when you're going through the death process. No doubt this sister heard what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
In her very last moments on this realm, that this monster who just took her life in her home, executed her in her home, and then don't want to render any first aid whatsoever. They did a similar thing with India, had the nerve to say and I'll talk about India, my baby. They didn't even the lies that they do. And sis,
Yes.
you mentioned, and by the way, I want to go back, and the reason why I use the word sister is because our loved ones are no longer in this realm, but we like to think of the celestial or the heavenly realm of the universe, that the stars, they're still with us with that. Okay, and thank you. I wanted to see you. So that's why I say sis star, because we're now living in a dual realm of existence. Now, the thing that really is so beyond egregious, the police, the sheriff, waited on this video, told the family that she was killed by the intruder.
Yep.
Lied
That's
to
what I was
her.
gonna say.
She was killed by the intruder. Again, put the family, like they did with Tyrone, with you, like they did with me.
Okay.
Constant. This is their MO. Then they want to talk about, then when they found, the family started inquiring further, and then they switched the story and said that she unalived herself.
Yes.
Look at, see, again, the depravity. They cobbled together this story. And this is when the family's trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, we know what happens, the adrenaline, how we're just in a fog of confusion. We can't understand that the disbelief that our loved one is no longer with us, the tsunami of questions about what happened. You mean wait a minute, I can't believe this. Tyrone was shot? Wait a minute, I can't believe this. India was shot? I don't get it. What happened to my loved one? This is what we endure when they do this to us. We don't know what next step to take because the mind tries to make sense and process what we have, the information that's just been delivered. Her family was there. They lied to their faces.
It's so heartbreaking. I'm sorry.
She has 2 children, a 15-year-old daughter, a 17-year-old son. When the father, the rage I have is a culmination of years of trying to survive. With this, we have to work, we have to take care of our children. They're dealing with their trauma, the rage and the pain, and we still have to go on. It causes us to suffer health issues, definitely psychological issues, definitely emotional issues, definitely we're traumatized, and they keep doing this. What is it going to take?
Yes.
And that's where I am right now with every last one of our loved ones. I spoke it yesterday. They're not resting in peace. Our loved ones have never received any type of or any semblance of legal justice.
Nothing.
And Sister Sonia, we know. I'm wearing a shirt with the other sisters, of course, to honor them in collaboration with you, my dear sister, for your brother, because you have not stopped. I admire you so. I just didn't have the bandwidth to do what you have done all of these years. How many years has it been?
It's been 11 years.
11 years, okay?
574 weeks.
Nonstop. So, sister, my hat, listen, I'm straightening your crown, okay? Because people need to understand, what does it require to continue living?
Mhm.
I did not know how to reach out and, do the things that are required to amplify. You have been nonstop, and God bless you.
Mhm.
God is it's just okay. So Sister Sonia, when they told the family that she had unalived herself, they let that lie sit. They let this family
Mhm.
believe this lie
Mhm.
for almost 2 weeks
2 weeks.
before then saying, wait, here's the video.
Mhm.
They cannot hide, which they have always tried to do. But
Mhm.
2 weeks, look at the deception. Look at the intentional deception and cover up that they have been doing they did it with Tyrone. They did it with India. Every single one has been.
Everybody, all of our loved ones.
Let me pause for a moment, sister, because I want to ask you, the tears, I'm holding them back for now, but we know we cry oceans of tears.
Yes.
We cannot continue on this path where they literally have support from from the federal level, state level, city level,
Mhm.
county level, municipal level,
Mhm.
to murder us without accountability. And what does accountability? We throw that word around, and we've been throwing it around for years. We have just witnessed them convict a sexual predator, a
Mhm.
thief, a liar, and a clear racist. Okay, he's not behind bars. So if they will do that kind of movements, maneuverings to protect Trump, protect these,
Mhm. Yeah.
they really have the incentive to try to be transparent with those of us who are suffering at the hands of
Yeah.
both police. Here's the
Mhm.
clinch on even that, Sister Tawanda. Are
Mhm.
we not taxpayers? We
Mhm.
pay taxes, which means
Mhm.
literally we're contributing to a system that condones the murder of our loved ones.
Absolutely.
We're paying their
Absolutely. We're
salaries.
paying it. We're paying it. And then we're paying money when they give us the hush money to the civil lawsuit. That's our money. They're giving us right back our money out of our pocketbooks to shut us up, and you can't talk about the killers that murdered your loved ones. On top of that.
No. Adding to that, the so-called activists who literally have pilfered and stolen millions from,
Let's talk
from
about it.
pardon?
I said, let's talk about it.
Listen, I'm sick of not only with the police. I mean, they're the catalyst for this.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
what about the movement, us?
Yes.
Because we
That
have too
part.
many jockeying to be seen, jockeying to be in
Mhm.
front of the camera, being touted on stage, used as pawns, when literally they have not
Mhm.
changed one law. They have not
Nothing.
incorporated, but this is going to change now. And it
Mhm.
starts now, because we are
Yes.
not going to allow this to continue any longer. They cannot get up there and parade
Mhm.
around families who literally, because we're ignorant when it first happens, we don't know the judicial process.
We don't
We're not
know.
familiar with the steps to take on the legal process. We're just trying to survive and cope with the fact that our loved one has been murdered. And never in a
Mhm.
million years would one would think, like as you were growing up with Tyrone, that his life would end at the hand of a bullet of a.
And the sad part, sister, my brother was beat to death by 17 maniacs. He was tased in his neck for. He would have even shot something. And it's sad, you gotta
He
wish
was beaten.
something
I remember. Okay,
horrific.
thank you for.
Like I wish he
Yes,
would have got shot, then to sit up there and get pepper sprayed, tased, tortured, and then have a 400-pound man sitting on his neck until he died, yelling Trayvon Martin, help. Disgusting.
let's pause with that for a minute. You live with it every day. The visuals replaying in the mind of our loved ones crying out. In their very last moments, there's no comfort for them. They're not even surrounded by loved ones. They're surrounded by people who hate us.
Haters.
And then they want to say that we're in a post-racist society after Obama. The hell with that. And we've always been in a racist society. They
Always.
came over here. Now, listen, I'm going to try to keep myself aligned.
Mm.
When you,
Mm.
I just got to pause for a moment.
Oh, definitely pause, sis. Definitely take all the time you want. And actually, if you don't mind, sis, while you're pausing, I would like, if it's not too traumatizing, and this
No, I'm
may not be the
traumatized
right.
every day. We're
Yeah.
cool. Do what you need to do. Oh,
So are you cool? So now I would like for our sister Rachel, because I know we got a lot of questions and comments, but before we go to the questions and comments, I want Rachel to start playing some of that video.
yes.
Rachel, and so that way we can pause it. At any point, Sister Queen, you want us to stop the video, Gina, just say stop it right there. I want to piggyback on this. So could you start the video from the beginning?
Yes.
Rachel, mic check. Thank you.
And let me know when you want me to pause as well.
Yes, Gina. Whenever you're ready for her to pause, just say pause and go
No,
in
I'm
on your
good.
point.
Let's flow with this because here's the thing. We live with it every day. We're never
Yeah.
not traumatized. So I
Yes. No. So like whatever point you want to make is like this is an 18-minute video, but whenever you want to pause to talk about a specific point that because you're
okay.
making really excellent points, let's do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Now let's
Alright.
just pause. When you get to the very first, when you show, you see that monster with the gun. Oh, please continue. Okay. Let's just get there.
Okay.
This is them responding to the call of a potential intruder. They're going to go around her house. And I don't know if this is the video where they'll show the car that's been destroyed, but this may be picking up right when they knock on her door. Okay. Okay, so this is when they're checking the property because of the call, knocking on the door. Now note the date on there. What's the date? July 6th. Okay.
Mhm.
It should be noted that the murderer, he had his body cam turned off. That one. He had his cam turned off. Which they're not supposed to do, but we know. Forget what they're supposed to do. They never do. Okay. Knocking on the door. It takes her a while to answer the door. She's probably trying to get herself together, or she may even be afraid because, again, who could be knocking on her door if she doesn't know that there's a cops? We don't know. It is after 1 in the morning. When I see that window there, I'm reminded of a Tatiana Jefferson.
Mhm.
It's reminiscent of that. Not
Mhm.
again. Someone wrote the killer ones never turn their body cams on. Absolutely.
Mhm.
It does take her a while to respond to the door. So even at this point, my question is, why were, and it may be longer, why weren't they, and you saw him just do this, shrug, why weren't they just making sure that there was absolutely no intruders or anything? Okay, so she's already at a deficit, the way that they think. Okay, here we go. Now,
And also, sister, it's no concern for her. She's calling thinking the intruders outside her house. Where's the concern about the intruder, like you said? They're worrying about her cell phone ringing and all this, but not worrying about her being harmed.
because the truth of the matter is, my dear sister, that anytime they see us and we're Black, every profile of every criminal runs in their mind. They have cognitive dissonance, and that's how they view us, through the lens of the white gaze, the murder gaze, like that. That's how they view us. So it doesn't matter if you're a person who has really, it doesn't matter. They see us this way because it's in them. They project how they perceive us because they carry that within them, and they're trained this way as well. Now, I need to also interject and share that the murderer had been at 6 different law enforcement agencies. 6. In the year 2021, 4 different police forces alone. In the year
Wow.
2021, 4. So he's bouncing around. He's a bad player. They knew this. They knew something about this fool. Arrested for DWI.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't even heard anything about a psych eval. We've heard none of this.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna write a law. Let them go ahead and play around with the George. Here we go. All right.
And I turned my camera off, sis, so we can pay attention to you in
All
the
right.
video.
Turn mine on for me, please, so we can focus. Here, I'm gonna do mine.
Is this your car over here? Oh. That's not your black car in the driveway? Oh. Well, we checked the yard, we walked around the whole block, we didn't see anybody. Right? No, we don't. We checked the whole area. So we all walked around. I know, y'all. Yeah. I'm trying to get help, y'all. What do you need help with? Doing what? What do you need help with? What do you want help with? What do you want help with? I heard somebody outside. Yeah, we checked your house, we checked your backyard. I walked all the way through all these backyards. We checked the front yard. We didn't see nobody. Nobody's out here. No. Checked the whole area. What took you so long to answer the door? Oh, I was trying to I'm sorry. I got you. All right. Is there anything else we can do for you? Is there anything else I can do for you? Okay. All right. You doing all right mentally? Sure? All right. All right. That's not your black car, though. That's your That's it. You don't know? If someone just parked it in your driveway? It's not in my driveway. You just left it? Yeah, let's run that. Yeah. I got a 20 minutes. Anyone else? What's your list? David Mary 43556. Was there any damage previous to your car? Previous, yeah. What was the damage? Dent, I believe. What about windows? Oh, that was something that happened earlier. Okay, perfect. What is your last name? Shouldn't have to say much last name. You're not in trouble. I see.
Can we pause for a moment, please? I want to interject something.
Yes, pause it, Rachel.
Thank you. Now, I want to point out to people who are watching, look at how he's speaking to her in such a condescending manner anyway. Just
Mm-hmm.
that. And then also the fact that it's almost as if she's now being interrogated. I'm talking about the marijuana. Look at her. Just pay attention. She's seated down. She's sitting down, again, posing no threat. And someone also put in the comments, why did they even have to go into her home? They really didn't enter her home. She willingly did. I mean, she's thinking she's doing the right thing, of course, because again, anytime there's an interaction with the police, we should always be on heightened
Mhm.
for our lives because we know that they're certainly prepared to kill us, no matter what the circumstance. They're prepared to. They show up with that. So look,
Mhm.
he's asking her, and then also watch his facial expression, how he's just literally. She seems to be an irritant to him, versus a citizen who's in distress who needs help. He's covering it up and being nicey. Yes, ma'am. Blah, blah, blah. Just watch. Okay, now we can continue. But just watch how he's literally not posing a threat at all. No threat.
And I wanted to add too, before they even went in the house, before they could have cleared the call and everything, when they said we checked everything, and
Yes.
she said, "I love you." Like she actually told the murderers, "I love you." And then now you want to start trying to find a reason. Then I didn't like the fact that he asked, "Are you okay? Are you having like some type of mental episode?" She like, "I took my medicine day." So now he's playing upon that. So I just wanted to bring those points out.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm going to echo that. Okay, so the fact that he asked about her mental health, are you okay? And she responded, I took my meds. First of all,
Mhm.
he's not trained for mental health. How many of
Exactly.
our loved ones have been murdered
Mhm.
for mental health? That's Tanisha Anderson in the middle of a mental health episode.
Mhm.
Michelle Crusoe in the middle of a mental health episode. They
Yep.
murdered both of those women.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of there's another brother. There's so many. The names will come back.
It's so many.
Okay,
It's so many. Yep.
but he did ask about her health. So let's continue.
Mhm.
Asshole.
I
I can't stand him.
get out of your hair. I want to show y'all my paperwork. What paperwork? What paperwork? I got the paperwork. Well, just get your ID. Well, let's get your ID first, and then one task at a time. Okay. Here, grab your ID for me. Okay. Your ID. One task at a time. So let's do an ID, and then you can dig around for your paperwork. I don't know where my ID is. You have stack right there, maybe. Check on her. We don't get a fire while we're here.
Okay, pause, please. I just want to say something before we get here because this is where it's about to happen.
Mhm.
Look at her body stature. This is a thin woman. There are two. That guy he's big and burly.
Mhm.
They can't say they feared for their lives.
Mhm.
Can't say anything. Okay.
And
She
not
called.
only that, she's going by what they told her. They told her, "Hey, go check on that." Like they're giving, like you said, they've been condescending in the whole damn house. Like she's a kid. We don't want to have a house fire while we're here. Foolishness.
Okay, and that was a diversion away from the initial call anyway. Think about that. He
Mhm.
stove. If he went over there, to be very frank with you, he could have turned it off too. If he I'm just saying
Mhm.
the whole way that this is starting to play out, you can see how they look at us. This is a study
Mhm.
in their psychological positions and stances and perceptions and how they perceive us. She's tiny. This is not, she, I have to, what we don't know, but she's certainly not as big as those guys. And most
Mhm.
importantly, she's not armed. So
Mhm.
let's please continue.
Where you're hot steaming water. Yeah. Better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face. Drop the fucking pot. Shot fired. Drop the fucking pot.
That's just,
Headshot with the female. Headshot with the female. 1078. Fuck. I was on. I'm gonna go get my kick. No, you headshot me. You're done. You ain't gonna get it, but that's a headshot. God damn it. God, fuck. Dude, I'm not taking fucking more than water in fucking head. Hey, look, it fucking came right from me, too. God damn it. Fuck. God damn it. You good? I'm good. Good? Yeah.
you good. She's not.
She damn sure not. Fuckers.
They still had their guns trained on her and she's laid out on.
Mm, 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 mm.
They still had their guns pointed at her.
Well,
He's not even reacting like a normal person who just took the life of an innocent woman.
Water is fucking safe. It already reached us. They got a 52 route? Yeah. Better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you in your fucking face. The fucking pot.
She had already dropped the pot.
Mm,
She's dead.
And Rachel, can you pause it for 1 second? I wanted to say something.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I wanted to say. Just imagine, like, you're her at that given moment. You got a hot pot of boiling water that you were commanded, like you were 2 years old, to go over there and take it. You got your, the hand warmers on so you won't get burned. And he's telling you to drop it. First of all, you can't drop a freaking pot without burning yourself. It's a certain way you would have to put that pot down so you won't get that scalding hot water on. So I can imagine that was in her mind, like, okay. And she's like, okay, I'm sorry, and trying. He still blew her away. I just wanted to, emphasize on that part. Like, that is disgusting.
Well, we can talk why he did that because it's recorded. If he poses it and frames it that she was going to use the pot as a weapon, again,
Oh
once
yeah,
again, trying to justify why
yeah.
he murdered her. And you best
Oh,
believe
absolutely.
I'm going to say this, but he's really getting his rocks off on this.
Mhm.
This was a hunt kill for him because he's a Neanderthal and that's how they are.
Mhm.
He had to say, he said that drop the pot. In other words, to frame that she was somehow either that she lunged at him. Did we see that young,
No.
beautiful queen, 36-year-old woman lunge at him at any time?
Not nan time, but that's what they do. As they're killing you, they're yelling out, trying to get their own self off, and they're getting off on the fact that they're murdering you. Just like when we had a brother here in the city, Tyree, they told him that he was from the no shoot zone, and they unloaded a clip on his way reload one. They're telling he had a knife in his hand. They're like, drop the knife, get down on the ground. So he's getting down, and as he's getting down with the knife, they're like, drop the knife and shoot him, like unload 9 bullets into him in his head, like gun him down. Like, so that's what they like. It's disgusting. I'm sorry, it's disgusting.
It is disgusting. And then if we can, the part where you all notice she ducked and she said, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Cautiously aware she's in danger. She's sensing this. Now, mind you, she's already having an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Already disoriented, searching her bags. You know, she's looking for something. She made the statement, I took my medicine. But there was something. All right, let's continue. It's just too. Still got their guns aimed at her. She poses no threat.
You can go get it, but that's a headshot. God damn it. Fuck. I'm not taking fucking boiling water in the fucking head. And look, it fucking came right to our feet too. God damn it.
And you see how he lying? The water came right toward that water. Ain't nowhere near their ass. Excuse my language.
I'm not taking a pot of water or fucking boiling water to my head. See. And in the meantime, no help for this woman. They treated her worse than an animal.
Worse than one.
Floor right now. No help for her. Not even going on. No help for her.
They got a 52 in route? Yeah, 1078.
Is the blurred out area, is that Sister Sonia laying on her ground, or is that a cop trying to help her?
Yeah, I think that's her laying on the ground.
Okay,
like nobody's helping her.
Okay. All right. See.
I'll go get my bed. I mean, there's not much we can do.
Now, mind you, as this playing out, they've already radioed shots fired. because I listened to that transcript earlier today before I went down. You know, my head was just hurting so bad that I had to go lay down, and then I fell asleep. But look at this. Look at this.
Do we got any call history with her being 1096?
You know what? This part right here is interesting. I'm surprised he didn't even try to go back and plant a gun on her. This is, but you know, they would go back, you know, try to, as they've done hundreds of times with us, and we know they do it. They're called drop guns. We know they do that.
Yep.
And frame
All
it.
the time. Yep.
So the question is, which cop was it? I mean, what made them at this point have to release this finally, even after lying? You see, because they can't cover this up. This is another reason. Well, they try. Going back to her house. Now, mind you, Sister Massey is bleeding out, gunshot wounds to the face, and here they all come. Cavalry.
Yeah, we're securing that. No, it's just her house. It's 296.
Beyond horrible.
Yeah, disgusting. Freaking pigs.
It is just literally, it's like they live for this.
And
They
it's so
do. They live for
disgusting.
this.
Yep. That is so sad. Oh my God, that's horrible.
You want to run down? House is clear. It was the only one. No, she had boiling water and came at me with boiling water. You shot her? Yeah.
You heard him lie right there, right?
Yeah, lie. That's what I said. Straight lie.
Listen, I'm standing right here. All right. That's where he's landed. Just nothing right now. Just hang out there for a minute. Okay. I need practice with them around the corner of the house. Other than that, that's anything else suspect? Oh, I didn't know I had.
Look at how many have shown up now.
Yes, the whole team to cover up.
Everybody. Look at this. Look how many are here. Now, I know I just counted at least 9.
Yep.
Police do not prevent crime. They commit it. They literally, look at this. Where's the one who murdered her? Where's his ass?
Mm-hmm.
Look at him. Oh, and let's also be very frank. Do you see one black face amongst
Not
them?
one. Not
Okay.
one.
Not one.
One. Not one.
You got enough? It's done. I got to roll.
Now they're going to mark it off as a crime scene.
And then but you see how they come with the crime scene tape, their own goddamn selves after they kill us, and they get it's just sad. It's like the police are policing themselves. They get to cover up, go in there, move stuff, do whatever they want to do.
Yep, that's going to change.
That's
Because
disgusting. That's disgusting.
We know what they do. We know their MO.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way that they've strategized and playing the long game, we're coming back with that too.
Mm-hmm.
And because we know the MO.
That is disgusting. That is disgusting. That's just like a serial killer just walking in your house, killing you, and he or she gets to put tape around your goddamn house and say, we're surveying the scene and nobody can come across the scene but me. Like, what?
Absolutely, sister. Absolutely, Sister Tawana. Now let's bring up this point. All of those people there right now, they are all in on constructing the lie, because this was July 6th.
Mm-hmm.
They all knew, and they're standing around, and you see that posture the police do when they okay, they're all standing around from what we can see here, okay? None of them really are essential in necessarily being on that scene. However, they are there. They all got together and put together this lie to the family, to tell the family
And let's be clear, when they do this, what they do is at this point, they call in a signal 13 in the case they did with my brother, and that's all officers. Does not matter your jurisdiction. You get to come and be a part of it. You get to come and be a part of it. And that's disgusting. That's why all of them showed up like that. That is horrible.
And what is it called again?
It's called the signal 13.
And what does
And
that
it literally means an officer is down, an officer is in distress, and then anybody that gets that call, it doesn't matter if you're a city cop, a county cop, a
mean?
private duty cop, you get to come in and support your brothers and sisters, your gang members in blue. That's what it is.
Okay, so they put out a call that the cop was down.
Yes, yes. They'll put that signal 13 out. A
Mhm.
cop is in distress or a cop is down, and they all get to come around and put their stuff
Spectators.
together.
Okay,
Disgusting.
it is disgusting. In the meantime, inside her home, innocent Sandra Massey is dead.
Yep. So we can turn our cameras back on. Thank you, Rachel, for sharing that.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay. Uh, all right. So we just saw that. I don't know if Rachel wants to bring that part up, but you heard, and I apologize, talked over where he lied. Cover up posse. That's exactly where they are. Someone wrote AC Brit. But
Yes. So can we go into real quick, Sister My Queen? Can we let Khalil read the comments and questions for the night? Because we have the whole entire board lit up. And My Queen, you don't have to take the time to read it. We have a sister in place. She's going to read it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Tawanda and Gina. The
yes.
first few comments we have are mic check from Angela and Bruce. Bill also said, mic check. Tonight we have the sad duty of upholding the life of Sonia Massey, whose life was viciously stolen by KKK cop Sean Grayson. Cell blocks for killer cops and cell blocks for the whole capitalist system that empowers violent racists. AC Britt commented, great to see Gina. Hillary also commented, mic check. Nicole and Karis commented, mic check. Nicole commented, told the family that Sonia was killed by an intruder, broken heart, and angry face emoji. Nicole also commented, paying tax money to a system that kills our community members. Wu Child with an angry emoji. Judah commented, mic check. AC Britt, the killer ones never turned their body cams on. AC Britt also commented, they should have just left after checking on her right there at the door. Why did they need to enter her residence? AC also commented, I just don't understand why they had to do so much extra. They should have just left. No reason for them to have stayed there and do all that. The one with the body cam on should have intervened and made them leave. She committed no crime calling about someone outside. This is heart-wrenching. Angela commented, why was the killer cop saying drop the pot after he murdered her? AC Britt commented, horrible, fucking horrible. F the police. AC Britt also commented, it's like calling in the cover up posse. Nicole commented that officer Sean Grayson is an extreme threat and menace to society and should not be released out of jail. Mic check.
Mic check. And thank you guys for commenting. I agree with every last comment tonight. You guys are on point.
Yes, absolutely. And you think for us as humans who are just trying to live day by day, and those of us who are victims, our loved ones, we see and we know what they do. Okay. I did not know what did you call it? 13?
Yeah, Signal 13, because that's what they called when they killed my brother. Literally, when my brother was first pulled out by his dreadlocks, pepper spray, tased, and everything. Chapman had sprayed so much pepper spray, 2 canisters, by the way, onto my brother's. Backlash got into his eyes. So he literally called out a Signal 13, and that's when like 25 officers showed up, and that's when the beating really began. That's when all 17 killer cops started. I'm talking about hitting them with batons, beating them from one side of the street to the next side of the street, tortured. That's when it began. An unarmed man, was not armed, was no threat. And then they wanted to talk about my brother's size when you had men and women damn near bigger than my brother. Disgusting, taking haymakers, and they're like, oh, well, we did this, only bust him upside his head with a baton, only gave him a haymaker. Like, really? Like, how much do you think one unarmed man could take?
Understood. Yes, sis. And I have a question because again, there's so many cases. Could you please fill, was the case for Tyrone West ever litigated in
No,
court?
not at all. Not at all. The prosecutor decided that he was not. He looked me and my family in the face and said, and lied. He lied and said, well, that, first of all, he took us 154 days just to get my brother partial autopsy report. Let's be clear. His autopsy was confirmed on the next day, on the 19th, literally when they came to my family house lying. And even before the autopsy was performed, my sister, they came in at 12 o'clock. They said, we have your brother at the medical examiner's office. We want to make sure your brother didn't have a bad heart. We want to make sure he wasn't dehydrated. We know it was hot yesterday. We want to make sure the heat didn't contribute. And all of that was what came out in the autopsy 154 days later. Literally, that's what they said. They hid his body for 5 days. We could not even go and get his body. Like, literally, we paid for his funeral, the funeral home to go pick his body up. And the funeral home called me back like, Miss Jones, we never seen such. They won't release his body. I'm like, what do you mean they won't release? They like, we can't transport a body on the weekend. And she's like, we do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we never heard. I'm like, what? So it took them 5 days literally to even transport my brother's body from the medical examiner's office to the funeral home. So they did so much of covering up, but nothing was never litigated. And then when we get down there, he goes, oh, well, the state prosecutor, Greg Bernstein, he said, well, besides one abrasion on your brother's forehead, we don't see signs of a beating. When I took a picture, when I say, sis, let me tell you, sis, I was so on it. I did so much of stuff because it was the sister. I am my brother's keeper. This is like my father that you goddamn killed. So immediately when they came to my brother's, my family's home, I literally was recording their asses. Like, they record us. They're interviewing my family. I recorded every last one of those bastards coming in. They brought a black man, my queen. I never got to tell you the trauma that my family went to. And as soon as we started asking violent questions like who, what, why do you call me? He had my vehicle. Like, even if you're claiming you didn't know him, which he had his driver's license on him, because I saw him pay for my food before we left, and on his credit card, when he swiped his credit card, it requested for him to show us ID. So I bear witness this a whole hour before you guys murdered him. So I know you're lying. Like, what? But anyway, why you didn't call me? This is my vehicle. This is my Mercedes Benz. It's registered to me. If you had any question or doubt of who he was, you knew who the hell I was. Why didn't you call me? So long story short, my queen, the prosecutor answered the question, said, well, you know what? Besides an abrasion on his forehead, we didn't see any trauma or anything like that. This is good for litigation for a civil case. We're not going to prosecute anybody. And meanwhile, I'm sitting up there holding pictures because when they hit his body, I was ready. So when I got to the funeral home, my gut, the fighter in me said, you know what? Not only did you record the conversation of them telling you what the autopsy is going to be before they even did it. I got that. I'm like, I'm going to take it a step further. When we went in there, I played the funeral home people out of place. I said, hey, I never got a praying moment with my brother. Can I please see my brother? Don't put no embalming fluid. Don't touch him. They're like, okay, Miss Jones. They say, go on back there. But you can't. We didn't clean the body yet. We have to bleach. I said, I don't care. That's my brother. That's my loved one. I said, give me some damn gloves if need be. I said, I don't want to get you in trouble. Give me gloves. So the lady gave me gloves. I put the gloves back, and she said, well, look, you can't. And at this moment, we had like 20 of my family members. They like, y'all can't go back there. So I'm in my, they was like, you can take 2. So I'm in my mind, like, I know what I'm going to do. I took my 2 biggest uncles in the room, like the ones that I knew. So I'm like, we just want to pray. But I'm like, can I take my 2 uncles? My aunts and them, they're mad. Like, why you ain't? I'm like, come on, aunt. So we go back there, and literally I said, can we have a moment? Can you step out? And when she stepped out, when I say I pulled that sheet off of my brother, and I cried so bad, it looked like he was ran over by a railroad track. All you seen was track marks. They cut out bruises on his. They hacked him. He was not a skin donor or organ donor. They tortured my brother, and I got pictures of this shit. You can't make this up.
Did
And
you
it's
say that they
disgusting.
took skin off of him too?
They cut skin out of his neck where they tased him at, in his neck, on his legs, on his anywhere they cut skin
Oh,
off
wait,
of him.
I'm gonna see, Tawanda, my dear sister. First of all, I applaud you. I commend you. You had the
Thank you.
presence of mind to take pictures. I didn't have any family support. Let me say this.
Oh, wow.
None. And when I say this, oh, I'm gonna start sharing it because again, here India was murdered in Virginia. She
Oh,
was
wow.
in Maryland. She lived here in Maryland. So the same way, listen, it's going to change now. The medical examiners, the commissioners, all of them. You see the entire system. Now that, and I want to park this, they're all involved. They're all colluding.
Oh.
This has happened repeatedly. The first inkling that we got, the tide was changing a little bit when it comes was to Tatiana Jefferson, because he got some jail time because of the uproar, but see, that didn't happen. It doesn't always happen like that. It's happening now, like India, you would think that the Navy would be there to support. You would think, oh no, even the fact that her father and grandfather are retired DC police. I can't go with that, but let's focus on Tyrone and India and Sonia. What has happened with this is that even the body, I heard, okay, for 3 days after India was murdered, they wouldn't take my call. I didn't know what grandson. Remember, Roman was in the back seat of her car.
Yeah, poor baby.
No arrest warrant for Angelo Perry. There was no arrest warrant, no exigent circumstance. Again, they followed India as she was carrying Roman's car seat from house to house. And the only reason why she was in Virginia Beach to begin with is because Angelo had come to Maryland to meet the baby. Roman was 4 months old, and together they drove back to Virginia Beach. But this is when the police, and it's taken years, but now I've put it together and found out what happened. So I'm gonna drop this.
Drop it, baby.
Time in prison from the age of 21 to 34. Prison, not jail, prison. He's a tiny man. India was really tiny too. She was only 5'2", so she was real petite, but she had, large hips, but she was really petite, very tiny hands and little feet, and very soft-spoken and quiet. Angela was not a tall man either. He was maybe 5'6" or so. All right, so I found out, and this again, I've been quiet. I haven't been on social media as active over the last couple of years because, listen, a mother on a mission. I'm gonna talk about that. We need to move in silence sometimes because when you put stuff out on Facebook, they're monitoring. You don't think, like you mentioned your phone, they're monitoring my shit all the time.
Everything.
I have no fear. I have no fear. And I'll go toe to toe. I want their mothers to hurt the way we do.
Yeah, that's hard.
The way we do. But what they did with India and the baby, whoo, this is just absurd. They took Roman, who has now just been literally, and I'm thinking of Sister Massey's children. Roman has literally been orphaned. Put him in with a child protective services. He didn't know how to drink from a bottle. India breastfed him. She was real natural into nature. India was very soft-spoken, very talented. She played 5 instruments, self-taught, a poet, a visual artist, very gentle soul. For me, because I'm in your face. India would just stand back and she was like, she was just very gentle and quiet. They took her body, and we had to have someone sneak in to the coroner's office and get pictures of India. She definitely had a bullet in her temple and down her back because she had turned. Roman was in the back seat. Turned. Her mind immediately went on her baby.
Oh my God.
But the problem with this, like Tyrone is being beaten to a pulp by a lynch mob. Our loved ones, their last thoughts, and this haunts me, their last thoughts while they were here were of sheer fear as their lives are being stolen, shot, beaten, stolen from them, and none of us could be there to comfort them in their last moments. They're surrounded by white people, cops who hate them. And this is what is, I found out that Angelo Perry, in order to come to Maryland, had to get permission from his parole officer to come here 13 years behind bars. When I found out what the original charge was, let me just really encapsulate this for you. The original charge that he spent 13 years behind bars was, it wasn't drugs, it wasn't thugging, gang banging, theft, battery, domestic violence, none of that, because he was none of those things. That's what they attached to our men. But he was none of those things. He was a Jamaican artist, had locks all the way, but he was, the original charge was, are you ready for this, my dear sister Tawanda?
What was it?
Alleged assault at age 21.
Assault.
Hold a minute. On a Virginia Beach police officer.
Wow. So that was a setup. That was a hit.
It was a hit.
It was a
That
hit.
was the charge.
It was a hit.
When have you ever heard of anyone staying 13 years behind
It
bars?
was a hit.
On the ledge? It wasn't even. So that
It
means
was a hit.
the same way that they did with Tyrone. If Tyrone was trying to defend himself, they would say he was resisting arrest.
Yeah, that's what they said. He was resisting.
Fight for his life. There was no arrest warrant. Angela Perry got permission from his parole officer to come to Maryland. It was the parole officer that contacted Virginia Beach police and let them know. Again, here we go, behind the scenes, the police. He lived in Atlanta, Georgia. He did not live in Virginia Beach. He lived with his wife or her 2 sons.
Wow.
In Georgia. So he comes to Maryland. You see, you connecting this now?
Oh yeah. So it's like, oh, we got him coming back. Let's be ready. We don't care who he with. He could be with his mother. We don't care. We want him. Get him back here.
And that's just. How do you have the entire SWAT team assembled on a Labor Day holiday weekend? You know they ran your tag on your car when they were murdering Tyrone. They ran India's tag. You best believe. And they followed her for 3 hours.
Oh yeah, that was a hit.
Got out of her car and went to a Shell gas station. She was out of her car.
Wow.
She got back in, and then we have a video. Then is when you see the India's drive. She never drove fast. She didn't get her license until she was 22 anyway. India was not, she was just a very quiet, contained personality, very sweet.
But it reminds me, sis, of the KKK, the Ku. But instead of them being the Ku Klux Klan, they the Blue Klux Klan. Let's be crystal clear. So you know how the Ku Klux Klan used to be back in the day. We want the whole damn family. So if they could have got him, they wanted to. Whatever they did, he did assault them. She didn't do anything. The baby didn't do anything. But they like, you know what? We want the whole damn family. This is personal. We want the whole damn family. I'm sorry to sound so critical, but that's what it was. A goddamn hit.
We found out, and again, here's the thing about that. One of the SWAT, it was 16. This is the entire SWAT team. They had to put on their gear.
It was a SWAT that pulled my brother over. It was an unmarked vehicle, the Gun Trace Task Force.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're sharing this. I want to get towards what's going to happen now, because I know that we got Roman. They put him in foster care. I mean, child protective services first. He didn't even know how to take a bottle, because even when I would make some breast milk and I couldn't keep him, but then she'd be back and so quick that he was ready to eat at that time, so she would just nurse him. But the trauma. Think about this. This is where it gets, where it's our stories, and we're all spattered. What they have been counting on is for, you got this instance here, you got this instance there. We're all around, but when we come together on Capitol Hill and let them do their George Floyd, because that only addresses crimes by murder at the federal level. It doesn't have anything to do with the state or the municipal. That's where we're going now. We want the judges. We want them all. Pull. They never gave me any, like we just saw, we heard some of the dispatcher. I never got any of that. I never got any of India's belongings, her phone.
I never got it. Oh, I'm glad you made that point. They never gave me back nothing of my brother's. Even after the investigation was over, I never got his clothes. I never got none of his stuff. Nothing back. Nothing back. And then I didn't even tell you, sis, literally 2 days after they killed my brother, I get an anonymous call saying, hey, make sure you tell the landlord to change the locks. Somebody gonna break in this house. And I'm like, what? So I'm on point. I tell the landlord, hey, please, and somebody literally, now who breaks in somebody's house does not use Like there's no forced entry, like no doors broke open, nothing. And what burglar breaks in and takes all his belongings as if they were evicting him, set it out on the lawn. They did so much horrific stuff to my damn brother. That's why they won't open up this case, or they dragging their foot on. That's how, like how they drag their foot, showing the video. So they've been dragging their foot for years. They know I ain't going nowhere. That's why they still got men, white men, showing up at my house as of today, poisoning my plants, flattening out my tires, all type of stuff. I'm still going through it. Every day I live this fight. Literally every day I live this fight.
And that's what they want you to go away and live in fear.
Yeah.
There's no fear. Our loved ones died.
No fear. No fear.
Our loved
The
ones.
same way they get off on killing out loud. When I get off, when they come for me, I get off because it let me know how powerful it is. What I do is I'll show you guys as proof, because I come with receipts. You can't make that. I don't want you to make it seem like, oh, she must be traumatized, she's delusional, she's crazy. No, I'm coming with receipts. I'm going to show you where they did the stuff to me. I put that Ring app. They disabled my Ring app. They used stoppers to make it go down. But this one day they sent the damn man. He thought it was down, and then my door started talking to him, and he ran off the goddamn porch. Ran in his car. Ran.
See, and it's a new day now. I'm gonna tell you why it's new. See, our personal safety, they want us intimidated.
Yes.
I have so much rage. Oh, I go toe to toe, but see, I want
toe to toe.
I curse them because we don't have the spiritual level. And I go there. That's what I've been spending my time doing.
I know that's right.
I spend that because that's what I do. Now, let me say this to you, my dear sister, and we need to now start talking about solutions. What are we going to do? What is going to happen now? Now, here's the concern I have with Sister Sonia Massey. Did you see the so-called message that Biden put out?
No, I didn't see that. What was the message? Sis?
He said that I'm gonna read this to you.
Please do.
And I want to elaborate on this because we're about to change this. It's going to change. This man said, okay, and I just took a photo of it. He said Sonia's death at the hands of a responding officer reminds us that all too often Black Americans face fears for their safety in ways that many of the rest of us do not. Now let me read that again, because I'm about to dissect this. Sonia's death, and this is Biden. Sonia's death at the hands of a responding officer. He should have put in there police officer, but it's respond, and he set that out for a reason. Reminds us that all too often Black Americans face fears for their safety in ways that many of the rest of us do not. Now, we'll take the acknowledgement, but we're not leaving it there. Because there is families. Again, I haven't really involved myself with a lot of impacted family activities because, to be very frank, I don't like some of the fuckery that goes on behind the doors with that either.
That part.
I am not there for a photo op. I've seen them themselves taking money. I've struggled with food stamps and not knowing how I'm going to pay rent.
Girl, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and then when you fighting, they raise your bills up extra high so you can try to just break the system. They're like, when my attorney told me, Miss Jones, be prepared for them to open your mail. People like literally now says, I have a water bill, and I'm not even worried about it because God got it. I have a water bill for $2,000. A water bill. What, I'm watering the whole block? I have my BG&E bill, $700, $800. And that's just monthly. I'm not even here. I work every day. My kids are gone. Like, nobody's like, why in the hell is my bill so extremely high? She told me this was going to happen. And then this is what's happened. Is everything is designed to break you or make you seem like you're a maniac. Yeah.
Please say that again, what you just said. Please repeat that.
Everything is there to break you and make you seem like you are a maniac. And when you hear it from our mouths ourselves, you need to listen, because guess what? It's us today and you tomorrow. And man, you ain't got to wait till tomorrow. It's us today and you in like 2 minutes. They're killing, because once they stop killing us, they coming for you. They coming for you because they got the taste of blood. It's almost like a vicious German shepherd that's going around biting. Blood taste is blood is blood. regardless of what your skin color. Blood is blood. And after they get off on that killing stuff and their psychic mind just be going, and the ones they talk, and then the crazy part, when white people were killed, they always want to talk about, oh, let's talk about the mental health of them, this, that, and the third. And they make it seem like they're talking about a romantic story, just like even, you know, the person that went after Trump, they're like, oh, he had mental health, this young man, and they keep showing pictures of him in high school and all this foolishness. But then it's our people, our babies, they want to go pull out a mug shot, or they want to take a picture off of social media where somebody's smoking weed or doing some foolishness when they were partying or whatever in their own personal space. I'm sick of the media. I'm sick of, so sis, whatever plan you got, please lock me on board. I am ready. I'm ready.
Yes,
I'm ready.
I'm ready with you.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
This is
I'm ready.
We get together. I asked the question, okay, and I just started to see every single black person that's murdered by police, who shows up?
Who always show up? First of all, the ambulance chases Trump, and it's Trump. Yup, Trump. All of them.
Yeah. Now, is he a litigator? No.
No.
He's made millions off of this.
Millions. He is eating. Oh, I love you, my queen. Like, we right there. He shows up. Al Sharpner shows up. All them jokes and folks, ambulance chasers, they all show up to exploit our family, and then they ain't showing up for everybody. They only showing up for that national camera. They want to be a part of it, and it's sickening. Every time you see a case, you see his black face that don't know nothing, that's worrying about money, that always lean towards the civil side and the publicity and making it seem like he's our savior. He is not our goddamn savior, and I'll say it to his face.
Yes,
he's not our savior.
They're trauma. Listen, and so
trauma vultures.
What you just said, and here's the thing: is that we felt, if we say that we're going to get. No, I'm gonna call them out, and
I'm gonna call them out.
Here's the thing. Oh, the other one's Lee Merritt. Now,
yes. Oh my God.
Why is it that they're attorneys, right? They went to law school. You and I haven't been to law school, so you tell me that these attorneys, these still can't get together and form a coalition and say, listen, they're slaughtering our black people too much. We need to, let's get the families together. What happened in your case? What happened in here? What happened? And form a class action suit against the United States of America for this is genocide. Yet they're sending money over to Palestine, not Palestine, because I'm not Israel, and they're committing genocide.
Yes,
money over there.
Genocide.
It's Israel, and what's the other one? Oh, Ukraine.
Right. Yeah.
Like us. So that's the reason why billions of dollars. They're playing in our faces. They're playing in our faces when every single time we set foot out our door, they're waging war against us. This is and they're sick of it. They literally no more of this, just the civil. It has to be criminal charges.
Criminal.
And now I'm gonna say this. Let me bring this back in from 2016. You remember when Hillary was going? I'm gonna bring this politic part in because if you're black in America, you already by just being black already have the target. We know that. They can to places in the place of submission. Keep their foot on our foreheads. Now, something you said about Tyrone that's just, I know I'm going to think about this later. They took areas where they tased him. They cut the skin off of your brother.
Cut the skin off of him. And one more thing I want to give you, sis. When they lied and they said when David Fowler signed off, and you know that he was, he's complicit in all of these murders of people in Maryland. Like he always lied to get the police off. But so his name is David Fowler, and he was under scrutiny when he testified. And he was an expert witness in George Floyd. That's why they got him being invested. Medical examiner's office being investigated now, but they dragging their foot. It's the Doug and Pony show. But my point is, when I got my brothers before they even came in, I kept doing West Wednesday at the medical examiner's office saying they lies, they thieves. You know, they need to be shut down. I got my brother body exam, something sis that should have cost no more than $20,000 because I had my coins all, you know, especially when you black and poor in the murder, because you have all your coins counted out. I counted out, and then I even threw an extra $5,000 just in case it's scratch. Do you know they charged me over $50,000. Some because they didn't think I had the money. See, they playing poor people faces. They played on me. I'm like, nope. And somebody went so far, sis, to call a medical exam because I had my brother's body flown out. You're not gonna give me no doctor in Maryland because they all like with the covering up, they're gonna all regurgitate what they each of them saying. So I did my own homework, did my own research. Long story short, nobody can explain how we buried my brother with a black shirt on. He gets flown to Alabama. Now he's dressed with a yellow shirt, organs out of his body, wasn't an organ donor, and they had sent a bag of organs. So I guess my guess, and this ain't the West Coalition, it's me. They took my brother organs because you're more dead than you're worth. You're worth more dead than you're worth being alive. So they took my brother good heart that they said was bad, saved a white person or saved somebody rich with money that's on the list, would gave his kidneys out, even though he wasn't, gave all that out, and they didn't expect nobody. They didn't know me. Wrong man, right sister. I'm not playing with y'all. So when I got his body exhumed, they wasn't ready for me, and they sent a bag of organs with him. They sent the bag of organs with him, not in his body, but the part that's early. How the hell did he get on a yellow shirt? Nobody can, and I got it in black and white receipts. I got black and white. We buried him with black and white. He gets to Alabama with a yellow shirt on. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about when his house was broken into, and by the grace of God, I found my brother's ID card. They didn't ever give me back his driver's license or anything. I found his driver's license in between the stoop of the house. I looked down something to say, look, God was like, look, I sent you on a mission. You didn't sign up. Look, I looked down. I was like, what's this, Lord? So, and it was my brother's driver's license. And that's what led them there. And nobody can explain how I got his driver's license on the scene where somebody broke out. And then I got witness testimony, and I got it in black and white too. Because I got everything, stamped. So that way for my receipts. Long story short, people say, oh, I didn't break in his house. We found this TV setting up on top of the hill. Like, who breaks in somebody's house and put that in, and put out TVs and stuff? And all the people in the neighborhood took his clothes, shoes, all that. But nobody wants to talk about this. No one wants to talk about this.
And
no one.
We're going to talk about it, and we're going to do it in front of. See, this is what now we got Governor Westmore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, his story is very intriguing and fascinating. Here's what's going to have to happen. And I'm bringing these people in because I'm going to have to say this out the front. I am not a Kamala fan.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I'm registered as an independent because I can see the promises they've been made, the empty platitudes all these years. We're going to make them do something.
Amen.
And not just something. They crafted. They don't live what we walk every day. They crafted the Floyd Act, and they knew what they were doing. But I'm thinking of Mary Carey, her family, that would benefit from that. However, we're going to also say, all right, now let's bring in, and I had said this just yesterday, to say her name, Bill, getting back on Sister Sonia, because that family has no idea what they're in for in terms of
nothing.
I'll never forget. I'm thinking of a beautiful sister right now. I'm not going to say her name, but I will say her daughter was murdered, and it was definitely a high profile case.
Yes.
I'm going to go here, and I love this sister.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to call her out. I'm just going to say it. Tamika, who is Taylor's mother. Let me say something. And I love this sister. I'm not one who just jock volley. She's a real one. She's a real one. There's a couple part. Now, when they do this and it starts the story, now this went for Sister Sonia all the way to the White House. It never went. She was Navy vet, never went. Tyrone never went. Okay, but here's the thing. You and I have now. What time do we have? Because I'm I'm 8:30. What time are we working with?
Whatever time we need.
Okay, because I'm just cognizant of that.
Yeah, whatever time we need.
We're going to talk. We share our stories, but now not only are we going to share, we're going to make them do something and do something specific. National database, drug testing for police, psych testing for police. Listen, let me mention this too. When you look in the government, if you go to whitehouse.gov, you see even if the politicians, Governor Westmore, you see the staff, right? Who he's working with, to contact. Why is it that departments across the nation don't have a complete roster and picture of every last one of the police officers that works for that agency, so that the public can go and say, oh, that was the cop that stopped me? That's transparency.
That is.
Transparency. A picture, what department they work for, how long
Amen.
you have that with
Amen.
teachers with our children, but we don't have it
Amen.
when there are police who are interacting with the public on a daily basis.
That part.
Areas that they don't live, because we know that the white cops don't usually live in the black communities. All right, so
Right.
this is what it's going to take. That's transparency. Every
Yes.
last police officer who works in the United States, be it for the federal level all the way down to the municipal or the city level, needs to have their information public so the public can access it if necessary.
Yes.
They've never done it, but yet they have that for schools. That's going to change. You're going to get that, because here's why. That's a deterrent for them to misbehave and do things wrong.
Yep.
That would be that's true. That's true.
That part, sis.
Hold on a minute. Yes. Transparency. So that, okay, we work for the community. If we're out there in your community, you need to know who we are. Half the time we got to ask them for their motherfucking badge number.
Yeah.
And they don't want to give that up.
And they don't.
They want to interrogate us. So this is one thing that has to be codified in law. Qualified immunity is not even a law. It's not a constitution, but yet they hide behind it. So while I have been off of social media for the past 3 years, not very active, because you remember I used to do videos crying, snotting at the nose and everything from that part, right? Well, I stopped for a while because it was like, okay, I said it yesterday and it bears repeating. That song, Don't Push Me, because I'm close to the edge.
To the edge, yes. Woo, that part. Yes.
I have lost my mind, but I've regained it. So here's what I'm going to do with my mind and clarity. I'm coming at your ass. And here's how we're going to do this.
Yes.
We are strategizing to call in families, not the ones who really want the photo op, because it's sad to say this.
Exactly.
All our loved ones are murdered. We all have our idiosyncrasies, we all have our personality quirks, we all have our toxic behaviors. We have all of that. I have it, we all. After our loved one is murdered, what happens? It becomes intensified because you're trying to deal with grief, but you're still trying to deal with who you were, and all that wrapped up.
All that in one.
So I understand people behaving in a certain way. What I don't understand is pimping out your loved one.
That part.
Stage for a photo op with some politicians that's going to shake your hand and then go back and sleep in their bed when you're going to go back and cry in yours.
Yep, that part.
So I'm not, listen, this Sonia Massey, and it was before then. I just been laying low, just quiet, just reading, trying to learn as much, observing the families, observing those that I need to stay the hell away from.
Yes, that part.
That one of them wasn't her son, wasn't even killed by police. But everybody knee jerk. That's the first name everybody thinks about.
That part.
You understand?
That part. We on the same page, baby.
That's his soul.
Yes.
Baby's
wasn't even murdered by police officers. Different fight.
Exactly. That you have another mother, a sister, a woman looking at her, and you know her child was murdered by the hands of police, and you're gonna act like you have to talk down to them. You're gonna treat your mother like,
I love you, Gina.
That's who I am.
I love you, Gina.
I love you.
I love you. Yes. Woo.
You're gonna act and treat that other mother or that person like they're not,
like they less than
your time.
Like it's a clique.
It's a clique. I'm a clique. I'm not a part of anybody's goddamn clique.
That's how I am.
Never will be.
Oh my God. That part.
I am for our innocent loved ones whose lives they're cancer.
That part.
Themselves. India was murdered at age 57. She would be 36 now. The same exact
terrible.
Born in the same year that Sonia Massey was born.
Wow.
India, Sandra Bland, all born in 1988.
Wow.
Listen, we're talking about solutions now. Here's what's going to happen. And I have stuff written down, and I'm going to share this with you. I said here with my Say Her Name shirt for the women, the book and everything. I'm not going to promote. I'm going to do this off, but I'm saying, look at these beautiful women. I'm going to start with you. Now, this is
beautiful, gorgeous.
Look at this.
Wow.
Say her name.
Yes.
Sister murdered. What's Alicia Thomas?
Alicia Thomas.
Please, I'm just going to do this. If you could just read their names out, because I can't see.
Yes. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't even see it. Right. Rachel, can you see it, baby?
Alteria Woods.
Alteria Woods.
Huh? What did you say, sis?
We can see
it. I was asking Rachel, can you read her name? Because I can't see it.
Gina, it's coming up backwards on the screen. That's
No
why it's
worry, I'll read it then, but I want you to see their faces.
Okay.
So we don't have the faces of Adebusola Tyree, murdered by police.
Shame.
Angelique Styles, murdered by police.
Styles.
Daniels.
April Webster, murdered by
April
police.
Webster.
Ariel Levy, a black woman,
Ariel
murdered by
Levy.
police.
Ariel Levy.
Tatiana Jefferson, murdered by
Tatiana
Tatiana
Jefferson.
Sharquisa Johnson, murdered by
Sharquisa
police.
Johnson.
Duwana Johnson, murdered by police.
Dewana
Wanda
Johnson.
Johnson.
Elena Mondragon, look at these beautiful queens.
Lania Mondragon.
Lena Mondragon.
Okay, Geraldine Townsend.
Geraldine.
Geraldine Johnson.
Look at these women. Look at all these faces.
Beautiful.
Look at
Wow.
all these faces of these
Wow.
women. Look at them. Look.
Wow.
You think their families had the strength to fight for them? Okay. Jessica Williams.
Jessica
murdered by police.
Williams.
Joyce Cornell. Look at these women.
Yes, I know.
And do you see this in the news daily?
Nope. Nope.
Okay. On and on. One of these names we haven't even heard of. This is how pervasive it is.
Wow.
Every last one of these women were killed by police. Most of the names people don't even know. So I'm going to do a part 2. Listen, look at this.
Wow.
Natasha McKenna in Virginia.
Natasha McKenna.
Thank you. Rakina Jones. We've heard murdered.
Rakina Jones.
Sharmell Edwards. Murdered.
Sharmell Edwards.
Have you all seen these names?
No.
Okay.
Wow. No.
Wilson, murdered by police.
Wow.
Simone Marshall.
Simone Marshall.
But black women.
Wow.
I'm doing this for a reason. Rebecca McDowell.
Rebecca McDowell.
Tamika Simpson. Murdered by
police.
Tanisha Chappell. Murdered by police. Look at these beautiful women.
Beautiful women.
Yvette Henderson. Yvette.
Yvette Henderson.
I don't know how many this was.
Wow.
Here's the point in that. Their families, they have children. These are aunties, mamas, sisters, mothers, cousins, girlfriends, best friends, partners, lovers, caregivers, all of these beautiful, and this is just a few that I was able to collect. Here's what we're going to do. Is there not now? Let me take pause, you all.
Yes.
Their souls cry out. Tyrone's soul cries out. So whenever someone says rest in peace, like no, they're not resting in peace.
They're not.
The other one is, well, God must have had his hand in it. There's a reason why. No, there's no. The reason is racist Neanderthals who are depraved and separate themselves from any semblance of humanity.
Yep, that part.
So here's what's going to happen now. They're going to hear from us because we are so enveloped in our pain on a day-to-day basis that it just takes every ounce of strength we have to even survive, to function mentally. Because where I am now, I took 2 jobs. I took a job, 2. I did a social study on myself to see and prove it to myself. Prior to India being murdered, I was self-sufficient, self-empowered, paid my bills. I was handling it. But I was also ignorant because I really, at that time, thought that the car I drove meant something, that the purse I carried meant something. The fact that I have this house, that is, listen, when it's stripped away and you have to stand in front of the mirror, you no longer have those accoutrements, those financial things, and you are forced to get yourself.
Yeah.
When Gina died, I died with her, but another Gina was birthed. Another Gina was birthed.
That part.
This is the fact that these murderers go home afterwards. You don't
to their family.
They high five each other.
Yes. Yep. They do all that.
So pat each other on the back. They're promoted within the police departments where we are living day by day.
And sis, did you know this? Do you know they don't even get interrogated? They get an interview with the Officer Bill of Rights. They get 30 to 60 days in my brother case to go down there suited up with their lawyers, and then they do 3 interviews. 3 interviews. Two of them are off the record, and the one that their attorney fixes up and worded right, that's the one that's recorded. Did you know that?
No. So here's what we're going to
Yes.
do. We're going
Yes.
to talk.
That.
We have told the stories for years about what happened to our loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
I wish, and people always say, I don't wish bad upon anybody. That's a fat ass lie. I do. I do.
No, that's
I
right.
wish bad on them. I
I
want
know that's right.
retribution. So
Mhm.
we think it's a
That
bad
part.
to say that. It's not a badge.
Mhm.
What you're saying is that you can now suppress all of your pain, and you want to ask God to forgive them.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive them for murdering your loved one.
Yes.
I will never forgive.
I don't.
I
I
saw
don't.
Botham Jean's family get
Oh yeah.
off of the stand. It's
Mhm.
mental psychosis. It
Mhm.
is white supremacy psychosis. It is
Yeah.
terrorism. They call it PTSD, police terrorism, stress disorder that we live with every
That part.
to get down off the stand and say, can I give her a hug?
Girl, let me would have got that close. I would have knocked her the fuck out. Excuse my language.
Listen. I wish every last one of them the
Burn
worst.
in hell.
I want
I
them to
do.
be tormented. They don't get
That
rest.
part.
Their
That
mothers
part.
don't rest the same way we don't. Their sisters don't rest the
Mm-hmm.
same way. I want them to
Mm-hmm.
suffer. I wish
That part.
sexual hemorrhoids on every last one of them.
I know
I'm talking about, listen,
No, that's right.
no, I want them, listen, because forget being a pain in the, they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. They know exactly.
So we need to make the lawmakers, and that's really infuriating to me. Did you know that there was a young lady by the name of Shayla Harris who was murdered in Virginia Beach the same night that Donovan Lynch was murdered by Virginia Beach police, but they have suppressed and kept her story quiet and kept it quiet. Her mother's name is Elishaba Harris. She suffered by herself. So I said, okay, sis, here's what we're going to do. We're going to find us a house, because we're all struggling to pay rent. Something where we as mothers, we can all have our own space because we need it, but just where we can all support one another, same household, or whatever, until we I'm just thinking I'm throwing it out there just for a thing, but we don't get that. How much in Black Lives Matter, that movement back in 2020, they took in millions.
Cleaned up, wrapped up.
They bought homes, multiple homes.
Everything.
Well,
Everything.
I was foreclosed and sat out with my furniture on the lawn.
Yeah, that's terrible.
We suffer.
Suffer. That part.
I'm going to start calling out every last one of them.
Oh, I have no cut cards.
Listen, my silence, the great Zora Neale Hurston made a statement, and it bears repeating, and it's so apropos. She said, whenever you're silent about your pain, okay, if you're silent about your pain, they will feel that you enjoyed it. They take advantage of that. Silent. Silence can also be equated with a lot of times with complacency. Silence a lot of times equated with apathy. But that's not the same for us, Tawanda. A lot of times we're silent because we have talked and cried ourselves so much that we don't have the bandwidth and the capacity to say anything else. We don't know how to articulate what we're feeling.
Exactly. That part. That part.
For yelling.
Oh no, yo, don't apologize for a goddamn thing.
Okay. The legislators, let's start. If anybody, I want all hands on deck. Those who know Westmore, who know the here in Howard County where I live, what's his name? I see the brother's face. Every last one. Look, if we draft a letter and it's signed and it's sent to the White House on behalf of every loved one who has been killed by police, we all sign it. We all get together. We demand audience of Congress. We demand audience. And we don't want the so-called grifters. Sharpton, okay, he's changed a little bit. We don't want them. It's us. They need to talk to us, and it's our lived experience. Our lived experience and what they need to do. And we can say, all right, first of all, we've already started a little bit of the national database. The murderer, whatever his name, Grayson, who shot Sister Sonia Massey, had been hopped from law enforcement agency to law enforcement agency to law enforcement. 6 of them. In less than 4 years? He's not problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Earning more than you and me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're paying their salaries.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not stop him. And then he kills. And then we saw in the video, I'm taking it right back, shot her and then cobbled together the lie. So no,
Mm-hmm.
you need to have immediate, they call it civilian accounting board. No, they need to call us in and say, all right, here's what needs to happen. We've been out.
Exactly.
The police are
Exactly.
no longer part of that investigation, investigating themselves, but not only
Mm-hmm.
other outside investigators, family members who's been their lived experience, so they can consult with us, because we are now the experts on
The
navigating
expert.
this type of.
Everything.
We may not be
Everything.
legal experts, but that's where
Yeah.
we come in a collaborative process.
Mm-hmm.
Study law, teach us. And in the meantime, we educate ourselves, because the Lord knows I've been reading everything I can. Like, how does this happen? It gets to this place where they dangle a little carrot in front of our face. They talk about the George Floyd police enacting for years, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, give them that. That's on a federal level, but this is what we want on the state level. Y'all give them both, because you're sending billions over there. They even did an anti-Asian hate crime bill. What about the black?
That's what I'm saying. Everybody got rights besides us. Everybody get whatever they want besides us. We the ones was lynched. And I don't even know, sis, if you even, not to switch the subject, but I don't even know if you are even aware that we still have sundown towns. That if you are, oh yeah, and I literally took my baby to Texas less than 2 months ago, and I was driving both of my girls, and we could not stop. I was like, it was horrible. I saw signs that say niggas out before the sun go down. Like they had, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And I'm like, this is 2024 and we're still living through this and nobody's doing nothing. We need to do something about all of that, like literally. And then that's why, and then another thing real quick is why I highlight, even though it was 17 killers and I want every last one, even though I don't highlight them, I want everybody.
Do you have their names, sis? I'm sorry to
Oh
interrupt.
yeah, I got them. Yeah, I got their names as well.
All
yes,
right.
I got their names. But the reason why I showed a video of Ruiz, and if you pay key part, 24 hours before my brother was killed, you saw the guy Darrell Harris talking. He pulled him over. Like, so long story short, he is married to a state prosecutor. That's why they won't do nothing with my brother's case. He married Michelle Battle in the state's prosecutor's office, and that's why they won't give me accountability. Like he's married to a state prosecutor, and he was a part of the gun trace task force. And then the night I found out that he had 36 complaints against him from the ACLU, my cousin Tavon Anderson was murdered. Literally, and I had to do it was on an early West Wednesday morning, and I had to do a West Wednesday with my cousin who was out there protesting with me, murdered for no reason, and he got my family quiet. And only out of respect for my family is why I'm not talking about that case either, because that's going to blow you too. But the whole point, this is a dirty ass system we dealing with. It's dirt. It's dirt. It's dirt. Like, and it's crazy because people don't know it until, like, when you live a normal life before you were dragged in here with your baby, you were living a normal, great life because you had your baby. But once you get dragged on this dark side, you see the dark web. We're on the dark website where you see all the crookedness, the craziness, all that stuff. And literally, if you don't see it, you're like, you kind of feel sorry for people. Like, and I remember, and I never thought I was better than nobody. When I would hear about the cases, because I used to date a police officer 5 years before my brother got killed. He was the one that I called. Like, literally, God was talking to me so much. The night my brother got killed, I told my friend, I said, look, I need to call my ex right now. I said, God is telling me to ask him what is a signal 13. I didn't even know what that term was, but I was in the spirit realm. I called him. I said, are you at the police department? He said, yeah, it was a total. I said, did you just get a signal 13 like 20 minutes ago? He said, yes. Oh my God, please go check that out. And his response was with his arrogant ass, oh my God, you must be crazy. That's not your brother. That means the officer down. I don't give a damn what it means. I know you know my brother. I know you know my car. My brother need help. And I swear to God, that's what I said to him. And he said, well, I'll go check it out if I can. And he didn't. And he called me back the next day. Once it hit the fan, then you want to call me back like, oh, I apologize. He never went. You know what I'm saying? But the whole point, we need to do something and we need to do it now. I'm
Yeah.
tired of talking. I'm tired of the paperwork. They want to keep reforming killers and bringing back paperwork, and they still killing us with no problem. Literally hate our women. The women are the most hated beings in America. Like Malcolm X got it right when he said we're the most disrespected, unprotected in America. I just literally in an 11-year, almost 12 years relationship because I'm going to keep fighting for my brother. No one's going to stop that. I'm done. Like I'm done with everything right now, but I'm never done with this damn fight. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep calling people out. I'm done with
Absolutely.
it. I'm
Absolutely.
done.
And the thing that what you just said, a whole mouthful, my dear sister. And again, I can't, it keeps coming back when you mentioned they cut out proof and evidence. When I got India's body, I'm going to tell you this, the funeral home, and that was hard enough. There's just so much I went through. People don't even know my own biological mother was acting like a straight up. I mean, she was
Yeah,
horrible.
you know, that's sad.
That's a whole, I'll share that, but right now, because I'm going to get back on what we're talking about and then Sister Massey and what has to happen. What I see is the momentum behind this right now. Last
Mhm,
time they had the mothers of the movement traipsing on the stage with Hillary Clinton.
mhm.
Frank, let's be very frank about something. They were used as pawns.
Used,
They were. And
used.
what came of that? Nothing came of it.
Nothing,
All right.
nothing.
Okay. Photo ops. So
Mhm.
here's what, no, I can never take another photo with my beautiful daughter, India. You can never take another photo of
With Tyrone.
your
Yep.
Tyrone and Sonia Massey's sons and her daughter and her family. We know what they're going through right now.
Mhm,
Protection of them because the vultures are swooping in. We already know that
mhm,
Trump's there, but we all need to come
mhm.
from Trump and say, listen, again, drafting a letter, getting on the, I know that there's this thing coming up, and I saw some emails about a cruise or something coming up. And I'm like, y'all not gonna get my black ass on a ship with all the families who are impacted and sink that thing. Now I know that sounds real crazy. I'm just saying.
Oh, I get you. I get you.
Okay, let me stay on dry land and I'll hit y'all visually. I'll do that virtually. And I'm just saying that. I know it's because that's the other side. I can say funny stuff that's not funny, but it's a thought. I wouldn't put it
Right.
past. It's one way to
Tawanda,
get together.
Tawanda and Gina, I wanted to add one more little detail about Sonia Massey's case, if that's okay.
Please.
Sure.
So I didn't see it in the video, but I guess someone watched more carefully than I did, maybe took notes. But I read somewhere that when she was carrying that pot of hot water under orders from the cop from the stove to the sink, the cops backed up. And she said to them, why? Why are you backing up?
Can we go
And,
back?
and apparently they didn't answer. She repeated the question. And it was only then that she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. So in other words, she was calling them out for acting in a racist way, regarding her in a fearful way. When, as you pointed out, Gina, she was a small woman and she had no intention of
Mhm,
putting that water on them. So she was
mhm,
responding to their racist body movements. And
mhm.
I hadn't heard that before until I read that today. So I just wanted to bring that in. That's all.
Ooh, let's stay on that for a
That was
moment.
a good point. That was a good
Thank
point. That
you.
was a good point.
Just now.
Yep.
Who was that was speaking just now, T?
Oh,
That was Bill.
Okay, thank you, Bill. You just said something, Bill, and I appreciate your aligning of thought here. The intent. Let's just say, whenever police interact with us, is their intent to ever protect us?
None.
no.
Intent. What is their intent?
Mhm,
Certainly, in the back of their mind, at some point, oh, I got this gun. No, not
mhm.
even a taser. They didn't even listen.
Nothing. But the thing was, what was they going to tase her for? Because she wasn't doing that. She was doing what they ordered her to do. That's what we need to stick to. They told her, take that pot, turn it off. You don't want to start a house fire. So she's removing the pot from the stove and putting it probably on her countertop so they won't be in fear of her little old pot. And then they blow her brains out.
So what Bill? Yes. And listen, we say this with just, it's not laissez-faire or anything, but because we are unfortunately, I won't say that we're desensitized. I'm trying to find the word. It's so, because we're exposed. When I see the video of India being murdered, you don't see blood.
Mhm,
You do see them charging their car, and then they lied and said that Angela fired at them. He didn't. They shot him in less than 4 seconds, but they shot Sister Sonia. She ducked
Mm-hmm.
and then put her head up and said she was sorry. Now you said she told him she loved him. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, no, at the door before they come, when he asked her, did she take her medicine or whatnot, and she was like, yeah, I took my medicine. He was like, what you need help with or whatever. She was like, no. And he was like, you got any mental health going on? She was like, well, I took my medicine today. He was like, okay, good. And then that's when she was like, well, he said we checked around, everything is good. So as she was going to shut her door, she said, okay, I love you. And then that's when he said, who black car is that? And that's when he started focusing, because her kindness wasn't killing. Like, he wasn't fit. He was like, he had intent in his mind. I'm going to kill her. I'm going to find a reason to get in there and kill her. I want to kill this queen. So that's when he started. What about this car? You don't know who car this is about, but she said, I love you. She told him, I love you, and that kills me. And then she even apologized as she was holding the pot, talking about, I'm sorry. She was so well mannered. And it doesn't even matter if you're acting like a, maybe you were saying, get the fuck out, excuse my language, or cussing them or being well mannered. They still killed you. And they made me think about how humble my brother got pulled over by his killers. He had his hands on. He said, good evening, officers. Why are you guys pulling me over? And you pull them out by the just dreadlocks and say, this is what the fuck we do to you, N-word. That's what they told my brother as the beating began. So it doesn't matter if you're being nice, polite, or something. They're going to do what they're going to do regardless. And it's just sad, because as a black parent, you try to teach your babies how, because you don't want them to go through nothing like that. So you got to have a black talk. And why should we have to have a black talk with our babies and say, oh, if you get pulled? But it don't even matter, because it's like you're playing Russian roulette. If that bullet click, it's going to click. Depending on what that officer goes through, if they're having a bad day and they want to take it out on you, you gone. You're gone. It ain't nothing in between that. You are gone, period. It's disgusting.
And here's where we're turning another page, my dear sister. I'm going to sleep on this tonight, or sleep. No, I had a nap earlier again, but think on this and write down. We have to get this on the phone. Who do we call? How do we get audience with Westmore as residents of Maryland?
Oh, I got his personal information. Like,
okay,
so.
Thank you. How do we get audience to take it even to sit down and have a roundtable with those who are really serious about changing, moving the pendulum has to shift. It's already shifting, because again, Sonia's murder, July 6th till when did they release the video?
They released it, I think, was that on Monday? It was even Monday. I think it was Monday they released it. Monday. Because as soon as they released, I saw it was Monday.
2 days ago?
Yep. They just released it. Yep.
And sat on it all these times. What was he doing that time? Was he already arrested? The murderer, was he already in custody, or did they do this after the release of the video? See, this is why I want, it's like,
right.
What are you all doing so that clearly he was a problem? But it's not just him, it's the entire system. So managing the system, we can say, oh, we already know that we know the whole system is rotten. So we have to do it incrementally, because this wasn't built overnight. Let's face it, America was never great for Black people. I don't care what it was.
Never.
You know this historically. When I read 19 and Virginia, where I mean, never. And looking at it from a legal aspect and just from studying and asking some questions. And it's like, okay, so I've been piecing together the what behind the why, or the why behind the what, and then the nows, the how, and how to move forward, what we need to do.
And another thing, Queen, I just want to say this.
Yes.
I don't know if you read the stuff, the latest stuff that's coming up, that if Trump gets in the office, it's called Project 25. Did you read any of those pages?
I haven't read it, but I have.
I'm telling you, sis, you need to read it, because I'm telling you, not only if he was in office right now and that was in effect, he's given all the officers full immunity. That's in that. And then it's even disturbing that in the public school system, if your child is in the public school system, they wouldn't have a choice, whereas though if they want to sign up to go in the army, they're making them, they're drafting them off the top, but they're not doing. And this is in the Project 25 packet. And then not only that, they're wiping away all the Head Start programs, anything that support Black people, and they're even taking away the Department of Justice. So this joker get to investigate his own self. So you got a criminal a criminal, convicted criminal that gets to play like this, like we need to do something and we need to do it soon. Like a lot of people don't know, and I don't want people to just to wake up and now you live in it. Like we're in a purge. This is the real purge. Like this is the 2024 purge. That's the only way I can describe it. Like no one is safe, and the stuff that they put right before us is like, oh, we think it's not going to happen. It's like before COVID hit, the pandemic, we never thought we would be shut in for a whole year or two, homeschool. Nobody was prepared for that. We never thought we would see these times. Like never. Like, and so now I'm just trying to prepare ourselves. Please, sis, when you get a chance, read that Project 25. It is disgusting. Like it's wiping, taking away the Department of Justice. So now we won't even have nobody else giving the police qualified immunity on the spot. And he is the one that said, oh, if you know you want to rough somebody up and bang their head and set on their neck. He said this publicly. He said this probably, yes. And so you got it, like and that's why they're so in a hurry to get him back in office, because they can recreate a civil war, because we're not going down like that. Like, and I'm not one to wage violence, but at the end of the day, you ain't taking us back to no slavery time. We already, I feel like we in modern day slavery now, but at least we do have some rights and some leeway where we can fight and lower hope. But if you take that away, it's nothing. And that's where we on that bad. We right there. They talking about the final days. We right here, baby. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yes. Yes. And you know what, to even echo what you said, Miss T, my beautiful sister, here's something. As you were speaking, I'm listening and I'm thinking, oh, okay. So they want to dial it back. But the truth of the matter is, honestly, you're a Black woman. I'm a Black woman. When have we ever been treated with equality and parity? When?
Never. So
now we have, well, I should say we, even when it comes to the political system, and I'm going to own this, I'm like, I'm not voting because I don't like one. I don't like what, and I don't participate. Because Joe Biden, well, he did the 1994 and literally, you know, and old people change. Listen, a leopard never changes his spot. They only shed a little bit of fur. And the problem with that is that behind closed doors, we know that they still view us a certain way. We know Kamala Harris is married to a Jewish white man by the name of something Imhoff. Ketanji Brown, Jackson Brown, one of the Supreme Courts, she also has a white husband. There's Black women. These are Black, and I'm bringing out something, Black women who are not married to Black men. But yet, if they were in a situation like India and Sonia, they as quickly as both of them, India and Sonia, they'd be killed as all, and Tyrone, they'd be quick immediately. So what is it going to take? See, because we now have asked questions and we spin, and it becomes a circular conversation. We get this caught in this circuit where we can't, you know, extricate ourselves out. So now it takes another level of thinking. What do we need to do now? Because usually when we talk, we're in tears. We're not able to speak with, it's really hard. Okay, I'm just reading the comment there. Do we want to read the comments? Because
so we can check and go to the comments. Yeah, because I mean,
because I want to. What do we do to organize or vote? If we don't vote, are we somehow saying that we're giving Trump carte blanche to go and be elected again? I feel I participate in the system that I hate. I don't really like necessarily. I like my jobs, but I don't like necessarily. I need, honestly, I'm in banking right now, but I can see that I'm gonna have to move to full-time social justice, because it does take me away. And I've said, okay, I'm on here, but I'm doing this because I got to pay the bills. But my real heart is over here because of what happened, what they did to my daughter. So I didn't know how to, at that point, I needed to prove to myself that I could work with the public. So I worked 2 jobs, and I'm not going to say the names because but I do work. I'm facing, both of them facing public. Okay. And I proved to myself that I can still interact with white people without wanting to punch them in the throat. I proved to myself that I don't hate all white people. I proved to myself that not every single white person has the intent, although they're socialized away, but to really treat me well. I'll swallow that. It's the socialization. They do look at us as that we're now the DEI, and they say this has become the new N word. But we need the inclusion, and we needed that. Because we were written out. There's a difference between equal opportunities and equality. They're definitely not the same. So I've been spending this time to educate and come full force and ask these attorneys to form that coalition, get us together, get us families who are in there together, and help us strategize and organize so that we can draft. And I'm still just call it to say her name. If we have to come up with several, they did it already. And they've already proven with the stroke of a pen that they can put legislation in place immediately, not years.
Yeah. Yes, but with us, they drag their feet, and that's the problem. They will drag their feet, but when white people or certain people in a certain class get killed, they drafting that thing overnight or in the part. They sometimes they be drafting it before they go to the the time of the year where they can make bill. They already know what they're gonna do and that we're gonna make a special hearing to do this and that. But when it comes to us, they're like dragging their feet, like literally now the Department of not the Department of Justice, but the AG's office is supposed to be investigating the medical examiner's office. And it's literally been 2 years since I talked to somebody. They don't know anything about it. They won't even say what families they're saying they're going to investigate 150. But mind you, it's over 3,000 or more families that was killed and David Fowler. They need to investigate all of the cases, not just a handful. And that's the problem that I have with the system. That's why I'm to the point right now. I'm forced in a position like, okay, do I vote or don't I vote? Me personally, even though I don't like the candidates, but I'm going to vote, and I'm going to vote for the sister. Like I'm going to vote only because right now I look at it. If I don't vote and Trump's getting in, which he still might, because it's hard to believe the way they hate women that they ain't going to let her in. But if she got a chance to get in, and it could stop and hold that bill while we think strategically on how we knock this goddamn system down and build it back up. That's where my mind is at. Because there ain't nobody going to come save us. We got to save ourselves. But meanwhile, I'm thinking if he jumped, like I feel like this ain't checkers, this chess. So I gotta move like them. Sometimes we on the same plane, both of them evil, but I gotta vote, unfortunately, for the less evil one to get my agenda and try to eat at what I do. Just like in my case, I did not ever want to do a civil case for my brother. I felt like it was a gut punch when they say, oh, we ain't gonna prosecute these killers, but we're gonna give y'all money. I'm like, you know what? No, my mind was okay. If I get the money, it's for the kids. They can have the money. I just want the information so that way I can put these killer cops in the cell blocks. That's retribution for me. That's what I want. I want it for his kids. They want to see their father killer go to jail. My family, everybody scared. I'll speak up. I'll have a target on my goddamn back. The
Say that.
target, the red dot on my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my whole point is, it's like right now, it's just like so much, but I just like feel like I gotta do something. So, like I said, they could have had Ronald McDonald going against Trump. I'm gonna go with Ronald McDonald right now and see why. Meanwhile, while I'm voting for Ronald McDonald, that could slow the process up. But meanwhile, we really like the legislation and all that stuff we talk. We definitely got to do that. Like we got to do everything that we possibly humanly can because this system don't care about us. And it's sad, half the people that we rock with, they don't even care about ourselves. You fighting, they got in-house fight and all this foolishness. Like I'm just over. Like and that's why I stay focused. Everybody like, how you do it for 11 years? You know why? Because I can't look at the in-house. I can't look at the foolishness. I always keep my eyes on the blood, and that's the blood of our loved ones. I can't look at it no other way, no different way. I just like we gotta pull it out for the blood. They not here. If I gotta walk to the end of this earth with steel-toe boots on, I'm not doing it. If it ain't about me, I'm still here breathing. Because I know if I would have got killed, my brother would have been in jail because he'd have bodied some people by now. I'm just gonna be honest. My brother wasn't no violent man, but he wouldn't have let his little sister got killed and would have been holding up a damn protest sign. He would have got retribution instantly because the system won't give it to you. But I'm on another way. I'm not doing that. When I get done with these jokers, every time they see West Wednesday, I put it publicly. I know they watching me. They sending death threats. They still doing the same thing. But at the same time, I'm not scared of y'all. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. But and me, with me, the way I think, I gotta play this chess. I gotta move like them. So I'm gonna vote. And meanwhile, if we can get the system here and slow up that 2025 stuff, because that's gonna wipe us out. We can't even take 1 year with this damn clown. Like 1 year with him, and then you got all the like back then, sis. Remember that back in the day when people used to hate you, they'd talk behind your back. Now they right in our face with the hatred, like right in our face with the road rage. And I don't know if you heard about it was like a road rage case, but I think it was here in Maryland. But it was a black guy and this white man, like literally followed him, got into it, offered him to fight. The brother got out, started fighting him. He calls his white fiance up to bring a gun to the scene. She come back, bring a gun. Some type of way he fighting for his life. It's either fight or flight. He gets the gun away from her and kills the guy. Now he's in jail. But he was defending himself. Why can't he use the same strategy that these killer cops use? I fear for my life. But again, the origin of police was never for us. They were slave catchers. And we got to keep on knowing that they was never for us. They were catching slaves. And then if you look back, sis, and I'm going to end on this and we can like literally go check and read the comments and go to our sad list and kind of wrap it up and come back on because this got to go on. This ain't, we could talk to 12 o'clock tonight. But if you do something called, yes, if you do something, I want everybody to research the Casual Killing Act. If you look up the Casual Killing Act, and this was designed back in slavery time in the 1600s, right? But in this language that they had, and this was law, legal law, it said if a slave resists, the slave master could kill them for resisting. They're killing us. That's why they're getting away. So all they did was took certain language out, put certain things in, and the system just keep wiping us out. That's the same way with these killer cops. When they merged like the other cop, you said he done got moved all around in different districts. The same thing with the killers that were my brother. Now he murdered my brother. He wasn't even on the force for a year and a half. He got the Murray Michelle battle, and then they moved him. Now he's a sergeant. Like they keep moving them all around. One of the killers that sat on my brother's neck, David Lewis, was when he got the signal 13, he was a private duty officer from Morgan State. He crashed his vehicle up to come sat on my brother and kneel on my brother's dying body neck. And I ran his ass out of Baltimore. I shut him down, made all the students protest against him at Morgan. He made them resign. But yet they got him checking people in Annapolis where we got to go make laws what we're talking about. They got a killer working there at the front desk. And every time I go to Annapolis, I lose it because I get real ghetto. And I cuss him out or cuss outside, tell him bring his big ass outside. I send them threats, and then they, everybody like calm down. You ain't gonna calm me. Your brother wasn't murdered and beat down, and he sat. And then when he had and then this bastard last year or 2 years ago, because time is flying so much, you get the years mixed up because it's going so fast.
Yes.
But he literally is a woman beater. They had literally charged him with domestic case. I sat up behind his ass, followed his ass, looked, Google searched him, and was right in the courtroom, breathing on the back of his neck with my face mask on during the pandemic. Yes, I was, and went outside, and they had the Muppet police officers run our ass. I'm like, y'all want to send them up? Y'all want to send 2 old white men to tell us to get off the property? Get up. Me and my friend Adina, we laughed so hard. That was the joke of the day. Because they said the Muppets to literally run the old Muppet men to say, get off, we're giving you a warning. I say, damn, they could at least send somebody tough and strong. I'll blow at you and you'll fall over, sir. Like, get out of here. But I just said like that to say, sis, we got to do something. We got to do something.
Yes,
and I'm going to keep on their heels. And I know they watch me. That's why it's public. Watch, keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. You're going to remember our loved ones. I don't give a damn. You will remember our loved ones. You messed up. You didn't kill us. And God forbid if you do that, I have somebody that's going to fight like me, that's going to come back, that still got the evidence, that's going to prosecute you. I don't care how many years it takes. I want these killer cops and cell blocks for your baby, for my brother, all that. We not going to stop till it happen. And even when it happens, we still going to continue, because as long as they keep killing us, we going to continue to fight. Period.
Listen, you just said it, full stop. And I want to say something to echo what you were just mentioning, and I know we're going to wrap this up. I mentioned the abolitionists. I didn't say that. Listen, and my own social study that I did on myself, being front facing. Just, Gina, can you handle this? I've already proven I can handle it because I did it before, but I have seen some of the most compassionate, let me just say this, white people. I'm going to name 2 of my sisters, who are my white sisters. The first year that India was murdered, my sister Tiffany would bring me, she knows I'm a vegetarian. She would bring me food. I was really emaciated. I wasn't caring for myself. I just, I had my daughter. It's just a confusion, but I could do everything on automatic for Evan. It's just really, you just go into that mother mode, for that precious baby. But myself was not. And I went down, I lost so much weight down to a size 2. I mean, I was just emaciated, horrible, because we know what it does to us, what it does. But Tiffany would bring little care packages and leave them on my doorstep, you know, vegetarian casserole. She came by and she helped home. This is my white sister. She may not have the degree of melanin in her skin. And a lot of our white allies don't have the same degree, but what they have is what these races don't have. They have empathy and a heart. And although they may have, I saw the note, socialized a certain way, they have actually risen above to the point where it's like, oh, I see that this is wrong. They'll really identify that. So they're not suffering from the cognitive dissonance. They're not suffering from, oh, it was always white, black, you got to get back. I'm better than. Even though there's some of that still, let's face it, we all have our own prejudices. It's not the same racism. We don't have the power as Black people to even be racist.
Exactly.
We already know what that is. However, let's just say it. I am definitely pro-Black. But I am pro-human who help humans who will help one another. We're not the same. And that's another thing. I don't subscribe to that, where they say, oh, we're the same, we all bleed red, different blood types. Really be, I can go into all of that thing about phenotypes and all that. That's but we're not the same. However, and nor should we be, because we can be harmonious. We don't have to be the same to bring about be harmonious and sit down and put our heads together, bring the pain together. There's ways that we can do this where we're not attacking one another, but we are also acknowledging that we want to attack them. Again, that's why I say, no, I definitely wish the worst on all the racist murderers. I want them to fucking suffer.
Yep, I know that's right.
So having said that, abolitionists, there wouldn't have been the abolition of slavery if it weren't for white people who and all those, and you know, who really thought this, who really were going against the so-called social construct that's embedded in the system. And I just saw that Casual Killing Act. I'm just going to read this, and here we go. In 1669, here we go. Virginia passed an act about the casual killing of slaves that stated, as you said, that masters who kill slaves they considered to be resisting will not face felony charges. I'm so thankful to you for educating me. This is what happens when we get together. We get that symbiotic energy where we're supposed to change. Yes, we're in. You know, I've been insular by design. I've been very insular by design because I just saw the fuckery and all this. Like these families. Again, I understand their pain. I live with it every day. But it's like y'all go to hell up. They never have, because unfortunately, if a person has never been exposed to certain types of material things, when they acquire that, however, if it is through the murder and the death of your loved one, they got money now and they think they've hit the apex of what it takes. You know, this is living, this is happy, this is satisfied. We know we know of millionaires who are miserable. So it's not you can never monetize the lives of our loved ones. What we can do is see that our loved ones did not die in vain. They weren't murdered in vain. And then go back and say retroactively, every single cop who has killed innocent loved one. I mean, they beat poor Tyrone to death. They just shot, you know, I don't think Sister Sonia died immediately. I know India did not.
I don't think she did either.
When they pulled my baby's body out of the car, and this always gets me, she was gasping to breathe.
I'm sorry.
Your hearing is one of the last, ask hospice nurses, your hearing is one of the last senses to leave. That thought of Sonia and how casual, we saw in the video how they were all milling around outside. The detachment. There's a dead woman, a woman who was just murdered. We didn't see anybody who looked overwhelmed with grief or hurt. It's like, oh, this is wrong. We saw them all milling around, now planning their next form of deceit, deception. It ends and it starts with the women and the men, and we really appreciate Bill and I'm looking at Dan and all of you all, Hillary. Who are allies who have been to support. See, I don't have that same network yet. I'm going to build it because I know every single murder. Let me ask this: does Tyrone have a Wikipedia page?
Yes, and we're working on changing it because that Wikipedia page suck. It's a regurgitation of what the killer cop said. It's nothing about none of the witnesses. It's a straight regurgitation of what the killer cop said. And we're working on changing. I had someone working, but it's like you get so many tasks and then you get on it and then you get back off of it. So yes, but we want to change that Wikipedia page. It's disgusting.
Yes, you can
It's
include me on your
disgusting.
West Wednesdays if I'm not working or whatever.
Oh
I
yeah.
have time to be
Yes,
with you.
please.
I will.
Yes, I sure will.
And years ago we had that bond, but you saw me
Yes.
go off, and it was
Yes. No, I already know. That's why I respect it. I say, let
we
her get her rest, let her reach, because I knew that you were a ball of fire. And sometimes you got to cool down and rethink, rebuild. All that's love, good. I said, oh, she'll be back. And like I said, you always welcome back. I love you. And I was so happy when I seen you make your first video. I said, yay, my queen is back. That's why I started sending you all the love emojis on your pages. But I'm glad you're back because
thank
I
you.
already know
And
you
that
like,
you never
yeah,
stopped fighting. You've been
yes.
out there for years. I
Yes.
just
I
admire
done
that.
lost a lot. I just literally made a post just the other day about how much I lost. Like I was really into my feelings because I just broke up a 12-year relationship. Like everything was coming at me. I just last week was my brother's 11-year memorial. Like everything was coming at me. Like people out of help that like turned on me. But it's all good because I'm gonna still be here. I'm still gonna fight. None of that's going to break me. It's designed to break you, but I want the killers to look at my face, look at my tears. These are tears of rage. I'm coming for you. I'm doing it in the right way. By the time I get finished with you, baby, you're going to wish you were dead. The way I can't sleep at night, you're not going to sleep at night when the shit hits the fan.
Say that.
Excuse
And
me,
you
when it hits the
have your
fan.
pictures.
When it hits the fan.
And and you sister, I just love you so. I'm gonna tell you.
Yes, when it hit the fan. And right now, sis, and I'm glad you talked about white people. And I thank my white allies. So I like my
Oh,
sister Dina. Oh my God, like
what's
that
her name?
is my queen. Like
What's her name?
when I say she call her name Adina, she
Adina.
like rides me everywhere. That's my heart. Like that is my blood. Like literally her, Hillary, Dan, Bill, all of them are my blood. And they give me white privilege. They be so mad at me. They see a Negro. And as they say, a nigga jumping and saying F the police, and we riding down a one-way street and I ain't get pulled over. I'm using my white privilege. You better believe it. While I'm with them, I'm gonna burn that white
Yes.
privilege up. I
And
might
you
don't have it when they step away, but I could call them. Like
there
I
you
said, my sister, they call her Batwoman because
that
she said she
woman.
gonna come. She said she gonna come right here with her baseball bat, catch that fool back on my porch again. Like literally. And I mean, one time, sis, like a month ago, they had police all outside my house. I called my sister Hillary. She pulls up in my driveway in 2 minutes because so happened when I called her, she was like right near this neighborhood. She pulled up. The white police officer ain't say, now if you looking for somebody, you knocking at my door like a maniac. You all on my ring at camera. You see somebody pull in my driveway, why not ask her a question and say, hey, you seen Tawana Jones? I'm looking for, ain't say nothing, kept on rolling right past her car. Like, so yeah, I love my white privilege. I
There
love
you
you
go.
guys. Love you, love you, love you. But
Thank you.
let's
I have
check
to
in.
also echo. I'm gonna echo you.
Yes.
Because we could not. We see this is an example of what it really does take. Slavery would have never been ended without the white abolitionists.
Mm-hmm.
It would
Yeah.
not. So it's all reciprocal. And this
Yes.
all these years in thinking and is observing, and then like I mentioned, some mothers who are really very mean to the other family members who've lost
Mm-hmm.
because they really are puffed up. It stinks when they leave the bathroom just like it does when we
That
do.
part. Mm-hmm.
Let's just it's
That part. That part. That
and
part.
to that's gonna crumble.
Yep.
Now going to be a rising of those who are really about, like you said, you are your brother's keeper.
Keeper, I am my brother
You are
keeper,
your
and not
brother's
just
keeper.
his. I'm all the brothers and sister keeper because at the end of the day, unfortunately, it didn't start with my brother. It didn't end with my brother. It's queens like your beautiful daughter that they never talk about, and it just breaks my heart to see a beautiful. Beautiful sister, like you say, a mother, gorgeous, your twin. That is your twin. Like when I see her, I see you, educated, your twin. Okay, your twin. So I just commend you for fighting. And let's check in real quick with the questions, and then we can go to the sad list. And I'm bringing you back, sis. Whenever you got another chance, please come back. So mic check. Let's check in with the questions in the comments.
I don't know if Kalia is still with us.
Well, Uncle Bill, can you read? Oh,
Oh,
she
yeah,
is
she is.
she?
She is.
Oh, go ahead,
Yeah,
sister. Thank you for hanging in with us.
It's been
Thank
long.
of
you.
course.
Family,
Yeah.
we're so sorry. First of all, it has been a long sharing of the sacred space together. I wanted
No,
because I'm not done. When we're done talking, I'm back on Facebook to do some videos. I got a lot more
I
to
know
say.
that's right.
And
Yes, I appreciate it.
gotta go to work tomorrow and all this and that. But no, no. But yes, Sister Kalia, beautiful sister.
Yes.
Yeah, continuing with the comments, Descartes commented, mic check. Adina commented, oh my God, with a crying emoji. Then yes, because they lied about the clothing he had on, talking about Tyrone, claiming he had on socks long enough to have a mysterious bulge on a hot day with shorts on, make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Hillary commented, the history of policing and police murder in this country is disgusting and wrong. This is why we can't and won't stop until we see full accountability and systemic and social change. Much respect for you both, Tawanda and Gina. Adina commented, who's to say they aren't sending that man to your house so you call about an intruder like Sonia?
Point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Adina said, Crump and Sharpton are trauma vultures.
Mm-hmm.
They never push for criminal charges, just civil, so they can profit off of the trauma. No funeral home is going to throw a bag of organs in the casket. That just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Westmore knows the story. He included T in his book. Bill said Kamala Harris, as I understand, during the year she was a district attorney and attorney general, never prosecuted any cops for murder, even though they killed about 600 people while she was the district attorney and attorney general. Adina said, yes, that part. Nicole said Westmore also has the Tyrone West face mask too, so yeah, he definitely knows. Dina said, yep, qualified immunity is a white supremacy code of non-prosecution by judges and legislators.
Oof, my goodness.
Hillary said yes, transparency and an absolute end to qualified immunity. Nicole said those photo ops definitely need to be tapped down because there is still so much work to do to send to the victims and take the movement from them. Adina commented with two broken heart emojis. Bill said, Gina, I agree. We need to wish bad upon racist killers. Adina said, wow, Gina, they purposely keep victims, families off of the civilian review boards. I've been trying to get on the one here in Baltimore. That's just the excuse. They're using T. They are purposely throwing up roadblocks.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole said that national database needs to be included and expanded to include officers' employment history. HR 1280 didn't have that.
Mm.
Adina said, if I'm not mistaken, when I was reading the SAD list last week, the police across the country killed about 6 people, double their usual body count. Not trying to be crass, just calling it as it is. Adina said on July 6th, 17 days since Sonia was murdered. The time they get here in Maryland is worse. They get months to get their story straight.
Mm-hmm.
The last killer in Tyrone's case wasn't questioned until February 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Bill said, Gina, I'm with you about all the candidates. I say don't vote, organize. Adina said, every comment I make about police and accountability is being censored from the feed. Dan said, I believe all white people are socialized to be racist, but we can start working to be anti-racist by examining our own bias and working as allies alongside those in the struggle.
Mm.
Hillary said, it seems that qualified immunity is the current version of the Casual Killing Act. Appreciate your insight, Tawanda.
Oof.
Dan said, we can leverage the system to make change in legislation and legislators by voting and writing or advocating for legal change. At the least, we can try to make the lives better for the marginalized.
At the
Nicole
least.
said, that killer cop was guarding the door at the Annapolis building during the removal of Leo BR rally. That was wild.
Mm-hmm.
Dan said, thank you so much, Gina and Tawanda, for telling the truth to power. Adina said, you got us, Gina. Dan said, absolutely. And Adina said, love you back, love you both. Mic check.
Love you all.
Okay. Yeah,
Mike,
and thank,
check.
yeah, yeah, and I just want to thank my beautiful sister Gina. You always holding it down, and the fight continues. And if there's anything that you need, sis, you know you can pick up the phone in the middle of the night, anytime, and call me. Because just like you, I don't sleep at night. Like I take power naps, and I still have to go.
you
And even
squirt.
though school is out, but I still teach summer camp. Like so, yeah. So it's so I work all year round. So, but
I'm gonna
yeah,
call
but
you
please.
offline. There's some stuff I want to talk about offline, just woman to
Yeah,
woman.
please.
And
Yes, and and it was some stuff I want to fill you in offline about too. So yeah, awesome. So if you can stay tuned. Unfortunately, guys, this is the part that I don't like, and this is our sad list. But before we go to sad list, quickly, I want to ask anybody on the panel, do they want to ask my beautiful sister Gina, or just and taking a conversation about our beautiful Queen Sonia? Mic check.
Sonia. Hmm.
Yeah, Sonia.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, oh my God. Mm, it's just too much.
Yeah. I'll just say it was great to have you with us tonight, Gina, and the discussion was very insightful, very powerful, and inspiring.
Thank you. To who's speaking?
I'm sorry, this is Uncle Bill.
Hi, Uncle Bill. Okay, thank you. I'll be back. I appreciate Tawanda reaching out yesterday because I was not in the well for us, and I did a quick video. If you go to my Facebook and watch that, I'd appreciate it. But just speaking, I've sat in my car for the longest before I even started to record because I was like, do I even want to record? And it's like, yeah, you got to say something because I am cognizant that being in a corporate environment, that if I say something, and I'm very careful, but it's like, why do I need to be careful? This is murder. If they want to fire me, let them
Mhm.
fire me because, and then I'll get another job. But I realize that,
Exactly.
you see what I'm saying? It's just, we have to even think about that, be aware. You know what I'm saying, Brother Bill, Dan, Hillary?
I definitely know. I was fired twice from the Baltimore school system for political reasons. So yes, I understand your point, but it was certainly worth it. I think the greatest danger is when we're faced with injustice is doing nothing, and any risks we take to fight the injustice is much more important than the risk we face if we do nothing.
Thank you for that.
That's where I'm at. And I always say, says, forced silence condones violence. When we don't say something, it's saying, go ahead, kill us. Go kill us. We love it. We like it. I ain't with none of it. So again, I risked it all because I come up on here and I tell you guys, and I can still get, in trouble for saying how I got kicked out. I got demoted for doing West Wednesday at one point. And I'm still at this job and it's going on 18 years next year. At the
And
end of next month, it'll be 18 years teaching at the same school. But I had to go through when I first started West Wednesday, literally getting demoted for doing nothing. Like I got stuck at court for literally testifying. Well, I was a whatever type of witnesses. I forgot the name of, but I was, if they needed me, they would pull me out. And if my brother's name got pulled up, I could tell them how they murdered my brother, but I couldn't say anything. So they had me there as this I guess a material witness or whatever, if I'm saying it correctly. But I was there, I was subpoenaed. And then from that moment, like my car tire and JC was in the car with me, Uncle Bill was in the car with me. I sent Uncle Bill. We have just won his victory. It was a civil case, but I was just glad that they found the truth that Ruiz almost killed him. The brother that got beat up a
yeah,
week before my brother. So long story short, I sent Uncle Bill because we were downtown. I sent him to go get my car, and it was just, and I never would have done that, but it's like when you're acting off the spirit tells you. And he called me like, your car won't move. I'm like, what? Long story short, they cut, and JC took pictures. Like he got, and they stayed up with me. Uncle Bill and JC stayed literally with me till 4 o'clock in the morning. It took all day because Uncle Bill knew a spot like on Harford Road for me to
mhm.
get my car towed to. But because my car tire was cut away from the axle, like I could have been killed if I would have just rolled off real fast or whatever. But no weapon, it may form, but it won't prosper.
There
So
you
it's
are.
all good.
No weapon.
So yes, no weapon formed against will prosper. So they go through all that stuff, and then literally I still showed up at work on time. And that morning I'll never forget, I got demoted. People don't know the tears and the hell that I go through, that
Yes.
I've been through and still
Don't
going through. Nobody knows. They only see the happy side. That's why, like, they'll see me show a sandwich or take a picture because I love baking and cooking. They don't know the hell that I literally, physically go through. But all this gonna be worth the pain because I'm gonna have my day. My truth will, all my truth ain't never changed in 11 years and it never will. And when my day come, oh, when I celebrate for accountability, oh, everybody getting cussed out and called out like I've been calling them out. But I'm really gonna have a call out day party that day. I'm trying to tell you. But anyway, guys, we're gonna go into the sad list, unfortunately, and I don't have our disclaimer list, but I will say a few words before we go into it. And normally we take like a minute, but we're not gonna take that minute just because we've been on here for hours, and I love it because this was the most powerful West Wednesday we have ever done. Because you're on here, we're talking about our beautiful sister queen, and this needed to be talked to. People need to hear this and share it and just feel our pain. And I just thank you, my queen, for just being in this space. I hit Gina last night, short notice, and it was to the point when she responded back, I was knocked out sleep. I saw it like 3 o'clock in the morning when I woke up to go to the bathroom, and I was like, and I didn't want to hit the heart to like it then, but I hit it like 6 o'clock in the morning when I was getting ready for work. But yeah, but I just thank you. And I just want to say a few remarks before we read the sad list. And we have 17. It's so sad. We have 17 on our police brutality list, and I don't know how many we have on our city list. But I want to say that it is our mission of the West Coalition to pretty much come from a loving space of care. And we don't condone violence on any way. Like, we believe in mediation. We believe that if you have any problems, that you can sit down and talk about it and live to see the other day. Like, you don't have to do anything violent. You can actually talk it out. Because if I would have went off in a violent rage, you wouldn't even know who I was to this day. You wouldn't know who my brother was or anything. I wouldn't be connected to Gina or any of you. And we don't get detailed information about none of the names that we read out. We're only coming from a place of care and respect just to say their names. So we have nothing to do with how they died. We don't know, and we just know that losing anyone, whether we see the person as a good guy or a bad guy, that's still someone's family member. They're still mourning the loss. They're not going to say, nobody says, oh, my loved one was a piece of crap. And even if they thought they was a piece of crap, they still love their loved one and they carry a special place, and we're going to be respectful. So again, we have no details about both outlets. We get lists from local media outlets for us, our community violence list, and on our national level, we don't know any information about it. So tonight we're going to read those names. I'm gonna bring our brother Brian if he is here to read the sad list. And we're going to take it from there. And then we're going to read the community violence list first. And then from there, we're going to go into the police violence. And just to let you guys know, and this is how our system plays us. Our system plays us. They make it seem like community violence is over here, police brutality is over here. Guess what, baby? It's the casual killing act. No matter what side of the fence you're on, whether it's your loved one, and I've been on both sides of the fence. Nicole could tell you, and our beautiful queen, she had to hang up because it was so traumatizing. But she lost her father-in-law, Anthony Anderson, and then turned around 2 weeks later, and her beautiful 16-year-old daughter, Aja, was killed by community violence, murdered. And this beautiful queen is doing a lot in the community and trying to just uphold it. I don't ever, like, I know what it feels like to lose my big brother who was like a father figure, but I don't ever want to know what it feels like to lose a child. Like, no parent. And that's why my hat goes off to you and anybody that lost their child. No one. My dream is that my children bury me. I don't know how long I got on this earth, but my dream, and I know your dream and all the parents' dreams, was for their babies to bury them, not for us to bury our babies. That's why we need to knock this dirty system down and build it back up. And I'll just stop at that part. But I got nothing but love and respect for all of the moms, all of the dads, all of the loved ones that's either on community violence or the police brutality side, because it's hand in hand. Murder is murder. That's not an act of God. That's not, oh, well, we could, that person was sick and they just, die, and we can't even sometimes handle that. I couldn't even handle when my grandmother died from old age. I still wanted my 88-year-old grandmother to live to see 100. I couldn't take that. Broke my heart. She wanted to see accountability for her first grandchild, Tyrone West, and she'll never get that day. But I'm not going to go on, but I'll just hand the mic over to Brother Brian, and I'm going to turn my camera off, get myself together for a minute.
Okay.
But I love you guys. Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Okay.
Ooh,
Thank you,
mic check.
Twanda.
Mm.
So yeah, my part of what I do here at West Wednesday is I read the community violence list. And Twanda said we uphold these names because these are people who had families and who had friends and who had loved ones, and so we just lift up their names in support and solidarity, and also just keep us in mind of why we do this work. So
Yes.
I would just ask you to echo back to me these names as I'll read them. I'm going to read the ages with them.
Okay.
Cortez Lemon, 14.
Cortez.
Lamont,
Come on.
10.
Sierra Johnson, 38.
Sierra Johnson, 38.
8.
Brandon Tucker, 43.
Brandon Tucker, 43.
Theodore Burrell, 20.
Theodore,
20.
John Parrish, 32.
John
John Parrish, 32.
Brianna Cumley, 12.
Brianna Comley, 12.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You.
And before we go on to Bill with the sad list, I saw Breonna Taylor's mom on the news this morning, and that goes to another sign. That's why my heart always goes out to Gina, who always uplift the sister names and talk about it. But this mom literally begged for a protection order from this man who came in, and she had 2 children by this man. But her 12-year-old baby, Breonna, did not deserve to die, but the system felt us over. They would not give her a protection order, only because when they went to court about it, she protected herself. She explained on the news, and I hate Fox 45 News because they disgust me. But the whole point is, when I saw the news, she was saying that how he was beating her up, and she wasn't going to stand there and get beat up. She would fight him back. She would defend herself. But the killer cops can defend themselves and say, I fear for my life. But when she feared for her life and fought him back, they did not give her a protection order. His own mother tried to get a protection order against him because he was tearing up property, shot out her window, stabbed up the car, and they're responsible as to why that poor baby Breonna was gunned down, murdered in her own home. I just had to say that. I'm sorry, guys. So I'll let Uncle Bill share the list, but I had to get that off my chest because I wanted to talk about that earlier. But in the sense of everything else happening, it like left my mind. So I apologize for going off. Mic check.
Mic check.
Like, nope. Mic
So,
check.
Tawanda, I'm going to read the first half of the police brutality list, and Bill's going to read the second half of it tonight. We want to remember again that all of these people have families, and every death hurts a whole lot of us, not just the person who died, and hold respect for all of them. So I'll start the list. We have a list of stolen lives today that we're going to be talking about from July 11th through July 15th. And it's, I believe, actually 18 names. So if you could just repeat the name, I'll be telling you this state and city where the person was killed.
Excuse me, Hillary, before you start the list, I want to know. So, Gina, if you want to turn back on your camera, you're more than welcome, sweetie.
Oh,
Mike,
okay.
check.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'll start. In Bentonville, Arizona, on July 11th, 37-year-old male, Nathaniel Mark Crabtree.
Nathaniel
Nathaniel Mark Crabtree.
Also on July 11th in Loxley, Alabama, 74-year-old male, Glenn Dawson.
Glenn Dawson.
Also on the 11th in Sparta, Tennessee, 40-year-old male, James Fox.
James Fox.
Fox.
On the 11th in Sulphur, Louisiana, 37-year-old male, Mark Hayden.
Mark
Hayden.
Hayden.
On the 12th in Winter Haven, Florida, 19-year-old male, Henry Maynard.
Henry Maynard.
Also on the 12th in Orlando, Florida, 19-year-old male, Tristan Mayberry.
Tristan Mayberry.
Mayberry.
Also on the 12th in Midlothian, Texas. Name withheld by police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Cell block
Ashe.
for cops. Ashe. Amen. Hallelujah.
On the 12th, also in Muskogee, Oklahoma, 24-year-old male, Matthew Lucht.
Matthew Lucht.
On the 13th, in Butler, Pennsylvania, 20-year-old male, Thomas Crooks.
Thomas Crooks.
And I'll hand it over to you, Bill.
Thank you. So in case there wasn't any clarity, these are not people who were simply brutalized by police. These are people who were actually killed by police. They brutalized even a much, much larger number. So we're now on the 13th of July, killed by police on that day, Ricardo Ramirez.
Ricardo
Ramirez.
And I neglected to say he lived in Los Angeles, California. Again on the 13th, 35 years old, killed by police in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Joseph Driver.
Joseph
Driver.
Once more on the 13th in Easley, South Carolina, 35 years old, Daniel McGoldrick.
Daniel McGoldrick.
We move now to July 14th in Micanopy, Florida, and this person's name has been withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
Now on the 15th of July in Union Township, Ohio, this person's name has also been withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
Now again on the 15th in Graham, Washington, we know this person was male, but the name has been withheld yet again by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
On the 15th now, we move to Juneau, Arkansas, 35 years old, Stephen Kissack.
Stephen Kissack.
Again on the 15th, this time in Beaumont, Texas, 68 years old, Charles Carroll.
Charles Carroll.
And the last of the most recent stolen lives on the 15th again in Marion, Indiana, 39 years old, Michael Guy.
Michael Guy.
That concludes this list of treachery by the police. Mic check.
Mic check. And I just want to say our sister Sonia Massey's name, because we read her name last week when we read the week that she was murdered. We read her name. So I want to say her name again because this was dedicated to her and her family say her name, Sonia Massey.
Sonia Massey.
Sonia Massey.
Say her
Yes.
name. Sonia
Their
Massey.
name,
Massey.
Sonia Massey. Yes, and you know, we're just praying for the family. And if the family ever sees this video, just be careful. Watch out for and it's sad because I remember when I was born, and like when you go through this, like my sister Gina said, you never woke, nobody never like wakes up and say, this is the day that I'm going to lose my loved one in a tragic way. Your mind is just snatched. And like my beautiful sister said, she died with her daughter and a new her arose. That's the same thing I always say. I died on July the 18th, 2013, and the new Tawanda, like that old Tawanda that was quiet and sweet. Yeah, I'm still sweet, but definitely not quiet anymore because I had to speak. And it's like literally when my brother was murdered, I couldn't even talk. But again, the message is for Sonya family. Please don't let nobody send you up a dead end road because the silence don't even begin with us. It begins with your attorneys that are worrying about a paycheck. So make sure you get the right attorney that's going to seek criminal charges, you know. And it's just sad. Like right now, you got the trauma vulture on your case. Do your homework about him. Don't let him or why you got the nation watching. Make sure that you get criminal charges. That's what you want, criminal charges. And, you know, whatever civil, you know, money that you guys get or whatever, it's not about the income, it's about the outcome because all the money in the world can never bring back our loved ones. So I just wanted to say, live to love to live. I love you all, and I want to see if my sister want to go out with any closing comments before we go to the end of the video that we showed you about one of the first killers that started to repeat violent offender that's still actively working as Sergeant Killer Ruiz. You know, I want to ask my sister Gina, do you want to say any closing remarks before we go to the video?
Our remarks will never be closing in the sense that it's going to be continual conversation.
Awesome.
This is continually happening. But I thank each and every last one of you for, again, sharing, inviting me to your sacred space and sharing spaces. We call out the names of the beautiful women. Thank you all for participating with that and chiming in. And then all the SAD list. Are you all saying SAD, SAD? I want to make sure.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm saying let's shout SAD. Yep.
We lift up their families as well. And thank you all. It won't be the last. We'll continue this. But I really think I'm sending each one of you all uplifting energies and loving energies from the center of my heart and also on the behalf of India.
Thank you so much. And I thank you for bringing your beautiful daughter into our space and being vulnerable and opening up and just sharing with us. Thank you so much. Like, and then you came through at the very last minute. Like you always come through. So I just continue and just know that your baby is so proud of you because I still believe they know what we're doing. We are the ones stopping like that. At the end of the day, sister, if this may give you some sort of peace, at the end of the day, nobody lives forever. And we all make a mark, right? We leave this mark in life. And your baby left a beautiful one, my son, and you're leaving a beautiful one right now as you fight as being a warrior queen that's like fighting and you're calling people out as you should. So continue on being not only beautiful on the outside, like, because you don't look like nothing that you're going through. Seeing you're just a gorgeous woman, but nobody knows your pain. So I just blessed us tonight. So I just want to thank you and just know that I'm only a phone call away, and make sure that you definitely call me when you get a chance after this or whenever you need to.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Bill, AC, Dan, Hillary, Smiley. I'm not sure who that is, but I do want to just acknowledge each and every last one of you. I did say Hillary, AC, the whole family. I love you all. And thank you. Of course, you too. Of course, T. We're going to talk because I just know it'll be cathartic for both of us.
Yes, absolutely. So, unfortunately, and guys, thank you so much for being with us and being with us all this time because this is real pain and it has no limit. Like normally, sometimes we wrap it up within an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, but we could take hours because at the end of the day, this is for our loved one. This is our sacred space. So, thank you guys for being a part of it. I love you guys all. Live to love to live. I love you all. And the fight continues. That will never, ever end. And we will never, ever have complete justice or peace until our loved ones get any type of accountability. That's the only way we can have a slight bit of peace. And we still won't have that then, because this racist system keeps killing our babies. So just thank you guys. And I pray that nobody goes through what we're going through except for those killer cops.
Say that.
Except for those killer cops. I would, everything that you did, the way you murdered Sonia, I want that to come back on you. I want them to haunt the hell. I told you, if my brother can haunt the hell out of you, I hope he's haunting the hell out of you. I hope they haunt you. I hope they haunt you. So on that note, let's go to the video, and we will see you guys next week. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And Mr. West begging for his life, and Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up.
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said, police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's attorney see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.